and gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News. My name is Mean Marky D. Pile driving geeks since 1973. The biggest mark in the IWC. Tonight on AEW Dynamite, the first ever women's main event. Lights out, unsanctioned, between Thunder Rosa and Doctor. Yes, Jesse, Doctor. Jesse's favorite doctor, Brittany Baker, DMD. According to several reports online, this match got rave reviews, and everybody gave Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa a standing ovation when the match was over. According to sources, if Jesse tonight has anything negative to say about this performance by Britt Baker and one Thunder Rosa was interviewed and said, and I quote, "Jesse will be lights out when we come face to face." Also on tonight's AEW Dynamite, we have Johnny Cage. Really? Now I know everybody's excited for Mortal Kombat, and if you don't go and fix this error, clearly you didn't expect me to see this mishap here, huh? Go and fix my notes, Johnny Cage. It's gonna be Mortal Kombat on your ass if you don't go and fix my notes. There'll be a fatality worse than Johnny Cage. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes my unprofessional behavior gets the best of me. But you know what? I think I need to calm down. Nobody gives a shit about Christian Cage being on the show. I mean, what does he have to say that we have not heard before from Christian Cage? I think I'm gonna go get myself a nice plate of Titus. And I'll be right back after this small musical commercial break.
You can see it.
back to OTS News. My name is Mean Marky T. And what you just heard were the sweet sounds of live band audio. That one was called Kill Crew. In other news, top donator to the podcast, Edgar Estrada, was just recently named moderator inside the venue. Now, obviously, this will anger one Jesse, who, by the way, I'm not sure if you guys realize his favorite female professional wrestler is one Dr. Britt Baker. Brittany Baker, TMT. This will obviously anger JD's co-host on Wednesday night, Jesse, but if he has a problem with it, take it up with management. Take it up with Thunder Rosa. See how far that one gets you. On tonight's menu for Titus, ladies and gentlemen, Titus's famous buttermilk chicken. This is southern fried chicken, pickles, house coleslaw on a brioche bun. My God, it is absolutely delicious. And tonight's drink special is Thunder Rosa's Rosé. This is a limited release. Get it tonight only to celebrate Thunder Rosa being in the main event of AEW Dynamite. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, this rosé is not like any other rosé. This will hit you as hard as Thunder Rosa will smack Jesse right across the face when they meet face to face. Enough of me, ladies and gentlemen. It is now time to start the show. This is your AEW Dynamite post show with your host, JD from New York, and that bitch, Jesse. This message was paid for by Edgar Estrada.
Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in that main event. We are live, man! Was it a main event? Absolutely. We're going to talk about how great that main event was and why it sets the standard for the AEW Women's Division once again. Cody Rhodes versus Pentagon Jr. John Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus the Good Brothers. Christian Cage speaks. Did Tony Khan backtrack on his debut? And we got all your AEW news and rumors tonight. Also on tap, how great did Lance Archer look tonight in his face-to-face with Sting and Darby Allin? We are going to talk about it tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the only post-show you need in the IWC on your Wednesday night. This is the AEW Dynamite post-show on Off the Script.
on.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post show on OTS for March 17th, 2021. This message has been paid for by Edgar Estrada. Jesse, how you feeling tonight, buddy? Oh, man. Oh.
I'm here to do a fucking podcast. Let's just do the fucking podcast, all right?
What, you salty? Man, you got double L's tonight, man. Edgar is now a moderator inside the venue. Britt Baker had the best match of her AEW run, Thunder Rosa. Oh, my God, man. You're taking L's left and right tonight.
Not been a good day, man.
Not been a good day.
Not been a good day.
Oh, man. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but thank you guys for joining us. Jesse, what did you think of Dynamite overall tonight? Tonight was one of those shows, I think, following the pay-per-view where Tony Khan had all this negative feedback coming on top of him. I think tonight was one of those Dynamite shows that they really have to look at and use as a foundation going forward. Very straightforward, nothing too crazy. Line it up with some great matches, some nice continuity. All in all, it was a solid show that flowed very nicely with one hell of a main event.
Yeah. If you look at the gist of how everything went down, basically, Edgar cried and paid his way to his position, you know.
Wait, whoa, listen, I didn't mention Edgar here.
What? I thought we were still talking about what's fucking important here.
I'm talking about...
No, I'll keep this aside. No, look.
Oh,
this was an excellent show, man.
Yeah.
Is my mic going in and out? Because it's going in and out in my ear.
No, you sound good.
Sound good? Okay.
Yeah.
This was an excellent show, man. I mean, it really did feel like a rebound show. Like, okay, we gotta get our ducks in order here. We gotta cover some things. We gotta do some things, and then we gotta get back on track. That's exactly what it felt like. Holy crap. Okay, you got something to do here.
I got something to do here?
Oh, yeah.
I see the super chats coming on in.
Oh, we got a holy crap,
Raging Girl Gamer already with 2 super chats, one at $50 and one at $100, man. Rage, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys are getting the party started already. I haven't even begun yet. So I appreciate you guys. We will definitely get to the super chats at the end of the show. Rage, I appreciate you. Everybody that's donating already, I appreciate you. We'll hang out. We'll do our thing at the end of the show. But it just goes to show you that the revision of the podcast and the visuals and everything, man, you guys are loving it. I love it. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate all the support. It's going to be the biggest year ever for Off the Script. And you guys just show me that every single week. Yeah, Jesse, I agree with you, man. This was, I don't want to say a righting of the ship, but like I said, a foundation for the shows going forward. This is exactly what they need to do. They don't need to try so hard, what I'm getting at, because they got it together when they got it, and they don't need to go out there and, push themselves to that limit. And especially with NXT now moving to Tuesday night, I hope that we don't see AEW stress about what they got to put on the show, and things just kind of ease themselves into just being a good Wednesday night show for them.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like all they have to do is just get back to what they do.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're listening to too many people. I mean, are just trying to do too much at one time. I mean, it is very, 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 very simple. You have all the mechanics, you have all the talent, and the talent has the creative control that they need to do what they want to do. Just let them go do it. Let the producers work with the talent, and that's what we've come accustomed to seeing in AEW, and it kind of seemed like it got back to that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. The main thing tonight, Jesse, was the Thunder Rosa Britt Baker match. Instead of talking about it at the end, I know everybody's hot and wants to hear about it now. We're not going to go over what happened in the match until later, but I want to talk about how everybody was very curious about what this match was going to be when it was announced last week. Obviously, tonight was a taped show. You could easily tell when AEW is a taped show. They're just over-embellished with the piped-in crowd noise, and you see physically that there's no audience there during these tape shows. But with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in tonight's main event, it was something that I was very curious about for a multitude of reasons. One, I love the feud. I think the feud is doing both of these women very well, and I like the storyline that they had going in. And with the lights out situation, it presented a different take on how things have transpired so far. You mentioned it to me in a text during tonight's show where you thought Britt Baker was going to win because it was a lights out match. And with these lights out matches, they don't really count towards the overall record because Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley had a lights out match. And that actually was a pivotal aspect to the building of their World Championship match back in December on Dynamite. I like this because of those reasons, and then I heard the online reports about the match and how Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker went all out. It was a bloody mess. I didn't know who won the match going in because none of the dirt sheets revealed the winner because it was such a great match, and I appreciate that on their end. But I also heard that they got a standing ovation for what they did, and everything seemed to line up with the early report coming out of Dynamite when it was taped last Thursday. This was a foundation again. You know, it's funny that I say foundation with Thunder Rosa in the sentence for the women's division. Yet another foundation that this woman has given AEW, not only as far as how the division should be booked, but the attitude of the division, the mentality of which these women need to attack this division. Everything was done right here. I respect these women immensely. Britt Baker is one tough son of a bitch, man, for what she did, man. And Thunder Rosa, we all know how good she is, but they went out there and they busted their ass when they didn't really have to because they've had a great match before. They didn't need to go and do all these bells and whistles, but they went out there for our entertainment, killed themselves bloody, and what resulted was a main event that Dynamite will look back on at the end of this year. One of the best main events that they'll probably put on in 2021.
It was phenomenal. I don't know about best of the year, but I don't mean to diminish what they did because that was a fantastic match. It felt like it should. I mean, for me, it felt like it should have been at a pay-per-view. Yeah. And obviously, a match like that, everybody would say they wanted to be at a pay-per-view. But here's my specific reason why. I felt like there was too much color way too fast. Way too fast. Like they got the entrance, got in the ring, I turned my head, came back, and Thunder Rosa's already bloody. Went to commercial, come back, and then Britt Baker says, my turn. I mean, I get it, but I get why that happened. I mean, we have time constraints when you're dealing with a TV match. So they got to get all this shit in a certain amount of time with commercial breaks and everything else. So it's kind of hard to pace a match the way it should be paced when you're going to get bloody like that. So I get why they did it like that, but I know that match would have been that much better if they didn't have the time constraints. You know what I'm saying? So other than that, it was pretty much a flawless match. They killed it. They fucking killed. I mean, and that's the thing for the producers and management who called the shot on putting this match on Dynamite instead of a pay-per-view. That's nothing on them. They murdered it. They fucking murdered it, man.
Yeah. What do you think about the situation where they showed Sheeta in the back? Now, obviously, like I mentioned before, I don't know if they're going to go about it and do the same rules as they did for the men, because they clearly put Sheeta there and showed her watching the match backstage for a particular reason. And I'm assuming whoever comes out of this match is going to be the top contender for Hikaru Shida and the AEW Women's Championship. Is that now Thunder Rosa, or are they going to go in a different direction and they're not going to count this match? And Britt Baker's going to cause an uproar because she did lose. And like you mentioned to me, it's not going to affect her overall win-loss record.
That's the part I don't get. I mean, when this is wrestling 101, you get the champion standing backstage looking at the monitor sideways, when they got to, That's how they watch fucking wrestling match. You know, they gotta kind of look to the side.
Yeah.
They're looking at their next contender. So, I mean, wrestling mechanics tell us that the winner of that match should be facing the champion next. And I'm looking at two women who just lost in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how this is happening. I mean, if that's where they're going, and it looks like that they are, especially when we get Big Swole, who came out and told us that she was going to be up next. You know, whether or not we like it or agree with it, she came out and said it. So now I'm looking at Big Swole, now I'm looking at Thunder Rosa, and now I'm wondering what's gonna happen with Sheeta. I don't know. See.
Man, what's gonna happen with Britt? I mean, does the loss to Nyla Rose in the tournament diminish what happened with Britt from there going on into this? I mean, I think even after this match tonight, she lost. I don't think it's going to count on her record, like I said, but having two back-to-back television losses for Britt Baker really doesn't sit well with me. I don't know how it sits well with you. She should have beat Nyla. She should have been in the finals of that tournament. And now she comes back and loses to Thunder Rosa. Is her momentum now diminished, or should we not worry about that because of the lights out unsanctioned ruling?
I think the loss to Nyla was a setback. I think that kind of halted her momentum, and it kind of just it was very confusing as far as what they were trying to do with her. This loss tonight to Thunder Rosa, I think elevated Britt Baker. I think it got her back on. I think it got her back on top. They still have to tell the right story to get her back in the W column to get her up to the title. But the performance she put on, this is the kind of loss I will take. I'll take a loss like this over beating someone who's a nobody any day of the week.
Yeah.
This match got her completely over.
Yeah. You know what I loved about this match? I mean, we all know how great Thunder Rosa is, and we all been asking for her to be number one contender for the Women's Championship for a very long time. But the one thing I loved about this match, as far as Britt Baker goes, is I know you vividly remember where Britt Baker started, and she was very she was very hesitant in the ring. Her communication was off. Her footing was off. Timing was off. It looked like she almost didn't want to wrestle when she was in there. Now, a year and a half removed from when we first seen her on AEW Dynamite and being the first woman signed to an AEW contract for that division, how much she's matured and grown in this role that she's in. The heel work that she's done has done wonders for her character and has taken her to another level. And now I think with what she's doing and how quickly she's maturing, the fact that she has no fear to go out there and do this type of match and really deliver, and her in-ring work at the same time is getting a lot better. We realistically, Thunder Rosa aside, we realistically should be looking at the number one and number two solid in the women's division. And I love how far she's come along. Do you get a sense of that on your end there?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at if I was to look at the women's division just as it is right now and just take it for what it's worth and not know who was the champion, just look at the program, I would look at it and say Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa or Nyla Rose should be champion.
Yeah.
One of those women should be champion. I wouldn't be able to understand why Sheeta is champion if I'm an outsider looking in at what they're doing, who they're pushing, how everyone is performing, how everyone is being reacted to. I would be looking at Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa as the women who should be champion right now. And it looks like that's where they're going. They're giving us a lot of attention to Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. This might become an AEW staple feud, one that we just might see periodically over and over again. Like they're destined to literally fight forever. Do you see Britt Baker eventually with this unsanctioned lights out match complaining to management, complaining to Tony Khan that, this doesn't count towards her record. She should be the next in line. She wins the title from Sheeta, and then Thunder Rosa gets both of her wins back. And after tonight, being that the win does count because it's on TV, but also doesn't count at the same time towards her win-loss record. Does Britt win the title first and then Thunder Rosa take the title from Britt Baker, or do you see it going the opposite way? I think the reason they did unsanctioned record and it doesn't count is because this kind of sets them up for another match. This sets them up for a number one contenders match now because it doesn't matter who won this one, and they both just lost in the tournament. So right now, nobody has a foot up when it comes to Sheeta's title.
Yeah.
So they can put Nyla Rose in it. They can put Big Swole in it. They can do a fatal 4-way, and they can determine a number one contender for. That's actually a pretty interesting match. Nyla, Big Swole, Britt Baker, and Thunder Rosa, number one contender against Sheeta.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. And like I said, this is a great foundation. I mean, if you look at the solid core of AEW's women's division, minus the goddamn Joshis, we got Riho, we got Sheeta, we got Thunder Rosa, we got Britt Baker, Nyla Rose. I'm not a big fan of Big Swole yet. She's to me is still very green. Jade Cargill, very green, but I mean, she's got the makings of a number one in that division if they really just let her go out there and really show us that she could wrestle. Minus the hair whip and all the things that she's doing to play to the crowd. I feel like that's more, and we'll talk about that, that's more of her act than the in-ring aspect is. And then you got Chris Statlander coming back. AEW has a solid group of women that they could build around. You go out there and you bring, another couple of free agents into the mix, and, you got something working there. It's not that difficult to really build around and figure out. Yeah, I think with this, just like everything else, Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, and everybody involved, they're trying so hard to bring this women's division to a point with the Joshis, and it's just not working. You got it. The answer is right there tonight. Build around what you got. You can't get any better than what happened tonight. You can't.
Yeah, and I heard today that a very free agent is going to become available in a couple of months. That AEW needs more than anything else right now.
Who's that? You got
Jordynne Grace.
Oh, absolutely. That's a no-brainer.
That's a need.
That's a no-brainer. Listen, Triple H is going to go out there and give her fucking Fort Knox. Tony Khan, that's a no-brainer for Tony Khan. An absolute no-brainer.
Needs her. That's a huge grab. And for somebody like her, again, she goes to WWE and she's a very tiny fish in a huge pond.
Yep.
And she's going to be the flavor of the month, and she'll be played with for a couple of months, and then she'll be done with.
Yep.
She goes to AEW, man, and she's a cornerstone.
Yeah.
So,
and she's got a lot of competition there for herself. She's not immediately and the reason why I don't mean that in a negative way. She's not coming in to be a number one. She's coming in to be a solid number 3, number 4 there, and she has the potential to be a number 1. Like you said, if she goes to WWE, she's not even in the top 10 in that division.
No.
She's got, how many women she's got to compete with? Toni Storm. She's got Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Ember Moon, Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai. Right off the top. That's me just naming women off the top of my head. She's number 7, number 8 before she even gets in there. That's not what you want to do with that.
Well, let's get beyond that. Let's say she goes to NXT. Let's say Triple H pushes her to the moon. What is she going to do in the main roster? What happens when Vince sees her body type and then puts her in a pigeonhole?
Shayna Baszler.
It's a done deal. I heard her say today, that, it was always a dream of hers to go to WWE, like everybody always says. And she would think about it because who knows, maybe she wants to wind her career down there and stack some money up and get ready for life after wrestling. Yeah,
but they could stack money up in AEW also while building their career at the same time. That doesn't really present itself as a guarantee going to WWE.
Yeah, and when she spoke, she only spoke of WWE. She never said the letters AEW. So what is it? Is it a red herring to point everybody towards WWE, or is it to throw everybody off and then show up in AEW, or is it her pitching herself to WWE like, hey, you're top of my list, come talk to me? I don't know, but I really hope she does not go there.
Yeah, me too. I didn't really read that story today. I didn't even think about Jordynne Grace, but that is an absolute must get for Mr. Tony Khan. But at the end of the night, this was a fantastic main event, and I'm glad we talked about that at the top here because it was definitely on everybody's mind as we ended the show tonight. We're going to get into what these ladies did in the main event. Very main event worthy, bloody, and we'll break it down at the end of the show. But I want to thank you guys for joining me and Jesse on the podcast tonight. Super chats are coming on in. You guys are fucking killing me, man. Jesus. I don't know what it is about Wednesday night. Wednesday night is the new favorite night for everybody, man. Popo Jr. with a $100 super chat coming on in here, man. You guys are crazy. Absolutely crazy. Man. I'm going to have to start.
It's almost like something special happens on your show on Wednesday that doesn't happen any other day of the week.
You know what it is, bro? They don't like you.
Yeah, and it is what it is.
It's the Edgar Estrada influence on Wednesday night. See what you did, bro?
Now we're in the Edgar era. What kind of shit is this, dude?
Oh, man. This is awesome, guys. Thank you. We'll read them at the end of the show. Papo Jr., thank you. Rage, thank you. And everybody else. Stu Sexton, I seen delivered a 50 bomb. Thank you, guys. I will get to you at the end of the show. But follow me on Twitter, man, at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. There is a simple way to support the show, man. Subscribe, bell, and hit the thumbs up. Great way to do that. So make sure you guys get on that. 375 likes we got right now. Let's try and get it to 750. Tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Advanced GG. This is a St. Patrick's Day 48-hour sale, guys. You can get yourself some gaming supplements. It's all natural, organic. It is a natural form of caffeine. I use it every time I'm streaming on Twitch, man. I'm at my best because of Advanced GG. I did a 5-hour stream yesterday. Absolutely enjoyed the shit out of it. And by the way, I played with Batman. Legitimately, I played with Batman on Twitch yesterday. This guy was fucking making the entire stream. He was more of a superstar than I was. But it's Advanced GG focus, man. 20% off all jars and shakers. You guys can use code SCRIPT. On the layout there, it says St. Patrick's Day. Don't use that. It's code SCRIPT, and you're going to save 20% off. And I want to thank them for being a great sponsor of the podcast tonight right here on the Dynamite Post Show for OTS. Make sure you guys go and get your t-shirts and masks as well. Everything you need is linked down below. Bonfire.com is the home for all that stuff. Go check the description for all the videos. And as always, I thank you guys for all of the support, man. You guys kill it every single week. Now we got some news, Jesse. I want to get in with the news. We got Marty Bison with a $99.99 super chat. Jesus Christ. You guys are fucking crazy, man. Oh, my God.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Everybody's stimulated, man.
Everybody's stimulated. I appreciate you guys, man. That's fucking crazy. Jesse, let's start at the top. I want to go over this because it's going to make all the WWE shills salty. AEW Revolution was a major financial success for the company. This was the largest grossing pay-per-view in North America since 1999. They did in excess of $6 million in pay-per-view buys. As of this writing, there's no other details on the pay-per-view numbers, but it was stated that Bleacher Report Live streaming numbers were up more than 50% from Full Gear in November, as well as the highest of any show in AEW history. Tony Khan has publicly said it was the biggest pay-per-view number in history, but it was since 1999. And obviously, this is probably going to rank up there for a very long time as far as AEW as their most successful financial pay-per-view. It's crazy, man. I don't even know what to say about that. I did not expect $6 million, but what do you think when you hear that, man? Pay-per-view is still alive and well in North America. And the one thing is, they're following an old school model. So clearly what they're doing with the old school model, 4 pay-per-views per year, and building that over time and letting those shows really have a level of importance to get you excited about the show. Jesse, clearly that's working. And WWE, looking back at it, I know they got the network, but they could be doing that very same thing if they put that same amount of effort into what they do on their end.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that number is in North America for non-WWE events.
Yeah, non-WWE shows. Yes, you are correct.
Non-WWE shows. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know what that trend is coming from, because that could be, and that's a slippery thing too. I mean, the thing is, I haven't spent money legit like $40-$50 for a pay-per-view in years before AEW showed up. So it's kind of a market that was like, okay, well, we don't do it that much and they don't put on a show every month. I don't mind it, you know. But the other edge of that knife is when you put on pay-per-views and you're charging people $50 for the show, you have to deliver. I mean, you have to deliver, because it will affect the next time you put on a pay-per-view if you do not. The WWE get the comfy spot of they could just give whatever they want. I'm not saying that's what they do. I mean, as far as the talent goes, creative, yes. But they already got your money. It's not going to affect their pay or anything like that. The old school model is you get the butts in the seats, but if you don't deliver, they won't show back up, man.
Yeah. How much of that, Jesse, how much of that is the fact that they put out a barbed wire exploding death match? Obviously, that had to be the majority of the reason why people went out and bought this, because how many of those people that bought this were first-timers to that type of match?
There are a lot. Probably the majority of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of them. I've never seen one myself.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention in this current, day and age where everybody's pussyfied about everything. Yep. So I didn't know what they were going to be able to do. There's two factors in this, and maybe we'll see it when the next pay-per-view numbers come out. But the dud ending and the letdown of the Christian announcement, was that enough to drive people away from buying the next pay-per-view? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. That's a tough one to answer, and we'll see. We'll see what Tony Khan has up his sleeve for Double or Nothing at the end of May. But either way you look at it, it's still very impressive, and they should be very proud of what they did in the middle of a pandemic. And you're grossing your $7 million for a traditional pay-per-view for Revolution. I mean, that's nothing to laugh at, man. That's good on them, and I'm very happy that they accumulated those types of numbers in this type of market with this type of model. Yeah. Everybody said that they couldn't do it. It was old school model. They should have more shows, more pay-per-views. They should be on a streaming service. I mean, they're doing their thing. Why change a good thing?
No, you gotta look at their core base, man. Yep. You gotta look at their core audience. The WWE core audience is probably more or less a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
it's very kid friendly. They market towards kids. AEW's their core audience are hardcore long-term wrestling fans who are adults who can afford to buy pay-per-views if they want to. You just got to keep them entertained.
Yeah,
that's it. So I mean, if you keep catering to your core audience, I think they'll be just fine. People like me, I'm gonna buy an AEW pay-per-view no matter what the build is, as it stands right now, because I'm firmly behind supporting the company. Mm-hmm. As I was behind WWE, for years, no matter what kind of show they put on, I was still financially supporting the company. So I just got fed up with WWE, and why give my money to a company that just doesn't care anymore?
Yeah.
So AEW cares. They're making efforts and they're entertaining. So they've got my $50 every 4 months. So yeah.
Likewise, every time they're on pay-per-view, they got my money. Absolutely. Yep. All right, right at the top of the show, Jesse, we got Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Pentagon Jr. I was very much looking forward to this match. Cody Rhodes, I believe, is hurt. I did not know how much he was going to be able to give in this match. Pentagon seems to be on a renewed singles push, which is a great thing to see. This match was a very good opener with these two men involved. That's not a surprise. Lots of high spots here. In the match, we got Penta grabbing a table. He propped it up against the barricade, and Cody stopped it wasn't a table. It was a part of the barricade, I believe, that had an AEW banner on it. Kind of looked like a table from my vantage point watching at home. But he grabbed this barricade, propped it up against one of the other barricades that was outside. Cody stopped whatever Pentagon was planning here, hit a top rope hurricanrana in the ring. Penta then focused his attack on Cody's injured shoulder, had the kinesio tape on it, so he's obviously injured here. Cody tried to press slam Penta out of the ring to the floor through this barricade, but Penta fought out. Eventually, he got nailed with a disaster kick. Cody followed up with a tope suicida into the table, nailing Pentagon. The barricade did not bend. It did not give. So that was a nice spot there. Back in the ring, Penta was back on the attack. He laid in more chops on Cody, ran into a thrust kick, and Cody eventually hit him with a Mexican destroyer. Cody then hit the Cody cutter for a near fall, followed it up with a crossroads. Penta kicked out of the crossroads. Cody then set Penta up for what he calls Din's Fire, hit it. Penta kicked out again. Penta landed a hard slap. Cody slammed Penta's leg into the ring post, followed up by locking on a figure four. And eventually Penta reached the ropes to break the figure four. He had a signature arm spot but was rolled up by Cody for a 1-2-3. Before we get into what happened at the end of the match, Jesse, your thoughts on a very surprising outcome. A lot of people thought they were going to give this to Penta, but Cody ended up stealing a surprise victory over Pentagon Jr.
Look, man. Cody sucks, all right?
All right, here we go, folks. He's going to rant. It's not about Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker tonight. It's about Cody Rhodes.
Look, man. Cody sucks in the most pro wrestling way, respectful way that I can say. I mean, I love the guy. I love what he's done for this industry right now. Him and his friends, and I love, his work ethic. But Jesus Christ, gotta stop putting himself over so much. He has got to stop putting himself over so much, man.
Listen, man, I told you he's going away. He's having a kid. His wife's having a kid. He's going out. Well, maybe.
What the fuck, man?
Maybe. Got to get him in now. You're not going to be on TV. You're going to be off TV for about... How long was Rollins out, bro? He was out, what, a month and a half? That's the time I figured Cody Rhodes would be out. It's not going to be out long. We could do without Cody Rhodes for a month and a half.
So why did he have to go over Penta?
Got to get him in now. Got to cash him. Got to cash him in quick, bro. You win, and then you go to the fucking... You go to the banker inside the casino. You cash out. You go buy yourself a couple of drinks, and then you're good to go.
How many... people like Pentagon and Phoenix they're not beating anybody these days except jobbers. And then when they get the big match against guys like Cody, they fucking lose. Why?
Listen, man, I don't know. That was the whole reason for the post-match attack, that Penta attacked Cody's shoulders. He was chased off by Dustin, and then the Gun Club came out there. Penta, he walked away, and QT Marshall appeared after everybody was already out there. He was asking from a distance, is he all right? Is he all right? He's all right. Oh, that's good. And Penta was over there dancing. He had, all the charisma in the world. He was dancing with like a leprechaun's hat on. He was great. He was great. But they obviously gave him the post-match attack in light that he lost here. But I don't really understand it. Maybe it's going to be something that continues and Penta gets his win back before Cody goes away. I don't know.
Man, no, man. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah,
we'll see where it goes. I mean, I look, I know they have the right mindset when it comes to booking these shows and everything else. I'm just trying to understand why Cody is going over so many other wrestlers who need the rub to beat somebody like him. And as it stands right now, Cody's bulletproof.
Oh, well, you got to take into consideration, what was his last match before the ladder match?
Cody's, I have no idea.
Do you remember? You don't remember?
I'm sure he won, though.
You sure he won? What was it? Peter Avalon?
The Peter Avalon.
Or a tag team match? Tag team match with Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi, I believe it was.
And then tag match again. I thought he faced Peter Avalon. Okay.
Yeah, something along those lines, I think. And then he goes to the ladder match. He lost the ladder match. He didn't win it. Scorpio Sky won it. Comes back. He wrestles Penta because of what happened in that ladder match. He beats Penta. I mean, I get what you're saying. Penta does need the momentum, but I don't think anyone's going to look at Penta any differently because he lost to Cody. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it's not like
it doesn't hurt him. It also doesn't make sense why Cody needs it, like you're saying. So, I mean, we're at a stalemate here. It doesn't really make sense, which is why I don't understand why Tony Khan did what he did.
Yeah, it's looking like as it stands now, because I'm seriously tired of Cody winning matches. So he needs if he's gonna stay babyface, he needs to start losing and build up some kind of sympathy. Or if he's gonna keep winning like this, just turn heel and just be a dick and win that way, and it's much better. I mean, now if you're getting beat by dick heel Cody, I mean that there's your rub, I mean, but you're just getting beat up by this baby face who just wants to put himself over. I'm just not enjoying the booking of it. His matches are fine. This match against Penta was fucking great. I loved it. But why? Why did Penta have to lose?
Jacob in the chat, Jacob Donnelly, what's up, bro? Yeah, it was the Shaq match with Red Velvet. So, I mean, he didn't even factor into that outcome. It was Red Velvet that got pinned.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there we go. So,
I guess that constitutes as a match for him. But, never mind Cody. I get what you're saying, Jesse, about Cody. But what do you think about Penta with this renewed push of Pentagon Jr. as a single? He definitely has this natural dick-like charisma about him that he plays so well, and I hope that they continue going in that direction with him because he just does it so well. But is he ultimately going to be a babyface when live crowds start filling this arena again? Because I don't see a heel rather that I want to boo. I see a heel that I want to actually cheer for like a babyface.
Penta's going to get cheered. I'd say he's going to get booed. It's Cody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 1,000%.
That's who's going to get fucking booed.
The crowd, like you said, you're asking for heel turn. I think the crowd is eventually going to turn Cody into a heel, against his will. He's going to have to embrace it.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see where they're going with it.
Maybe that's their plan. Hate him so much, and then you're just going to force the bone.
But why wait till the crowd turns you? You're going to drag your feet and you're going to get a lot of go-away heat doing it.
I don't know. The only one that knows the answer to that is Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Let's see where they go. Let's see what they have planned. But right now, I'm really tired of seeing Cody win like this.
Yeah.
He's Cody won and not Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa won. But Britt Baker came out of that match completely over as fuck. What did Penta get from his loss tonight?
Well, he got a really good match out of it with Cody Rhodes. But the thing is, Jesse, you got to think of it in terms of the way I'm thinking about it. I'm not really worried about it. Yeah, I get what you're saying completely, and I agree with you about Cody Rhodes. But, the way I look at it is the post-match attack kind of offset what happened in the outcome of the match. And I think somewhere in the back of Tony Khan's mind, and possibly Cody Rhodes as well, that it's best if you pick and choose when he loses because that's when it's going to have the most impact. If Cody has a couple of wins under his belt and then he loses to a Pentagon to eventually put him over in the feud when it's all over, I think that's going to have the most impact instead of giving Pentagon Jr. the win now and just, kind of blowing it up already.
Let me book this. How about we give Cody a win against someone else who's not in the line of getting a push and then have Penta come out after the match and do what he did? Why does he have to take an L first? What do I know?
What you just described to me is WWE Raw booking 101.
I would rather that happen than him taking an L than beating him up because now who gets over? You just did 50-50 booking in one match.
Yeah.
The winner or the guy who got beat up? Who got over?
Listen, man, we could be in this stalemate all night. I'm trying to give you my point of view. I get what you're saying, but I'm thinking that Pentagon's going to go over when the feud is eventually coming to a close anyway.
Hopefully.
So we'll see.
Hopefully.
Obviously, it's going to continue with the post-match attack. We'll revisit this, and maybe we'll feel a little bit differently when they eventually meet again in the ring.
Yeah, it's possible.
Alex Marvez, he interviewed Nick and Matt Jackson. He asked about Rey Fenix and Pac earning a tag team title shot. Matt cut a promo here about being the best tag team in the world, dismissing Phoenix's wins over both of them actually in singles competition, saying, you beat both of us in singles competition, but what we have right here is the AEW Tag Team Championships, and we are the best tag team in the world. Don Callis came in, and he said he was just there to check on their dad since they heard, they heard the, the hidden hand, or whatever the fuck he's calling these guys, that they heard that he got hurt. He admitted he pretended they kicked him. So Don Callis showing up with a black eye and all that stuff was a complete hoax, but they wished that they had kicked him. He said he wanted to see the old Bucks that he remembers back in New Japan. He said they founded the place, but there's nothing elite about the Bucks anymore. He said they've killed their careers, and Kenny Omega doesn't even know them anymore. Matt said he changed Kenny, their best friend. Callis said Kenny has changed because he's become a wrestling god, whereas the Bucks are living off of their names. He asked if they're the same Matt and Nick he saw in New Japan. So I don't know what this is setting up. Clearly, this is setting up a division here between the friendship of Matt and Nick Jackson against Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Could we see the Good Brothers vie for the AEW Tag Team Championships, being that they now lost the Impact Tag Team Championships to FinJuice over in Impact Wrestling? But this was a effective segment that clearly forwarded the storyline with whatever's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know if Anderson and Gallows losing those titles mean anything over on this side.
Yeah.
But, Jesus Christ, man. A lot of fucking stimulus checks. But
Alex 808 with a $100 super chat. Jesus Christ, man. You guys are crazy tonight, man. You guys are crazy tonight. I appreciate you. Like I said, we'll read the super chats at the end of the show, man.
And it seemed like it was the right thing to do to let those titles work for somebody else in the company, since Anderson and Gallows are all tied up with Kenny and Don over here in AEW. So they didn't really need them. So I don't think it's going to impact anything too much as far as what they do over here. But you can put them in a match with the Bucks now, and it's not as, predictable as, the Impact champions are not going to lose at a pay. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as predictable. I don't think they're going to beat the Young Bucks, but at the same time, their match when they finally do face off, it's not going to be as predictable as it would have been. If the other two, not as predictable, but a little confusing as champion versus champion type deal. Because we got Kenny going champion versus champion. We know the outcome of that damn match already.
Well, I got news on that in just a second here. But before I get into that, Jesse, I seen some people on social media complaining about the over the top way that AEW is poking fun at WWE's no leg slapping rule. They did something on being the elites. And
did you watch it?
No, I did not. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck, man. I gave you one thing to do that.
I know. I didn't watch it yet. I'm a late bloomer during the week, man. But I seen the clip because it was on Twitter. And then you got people here complaining that Don Callis had his no leg slapping t-shirt that they printed for Pro Wrestling Tees. Is it a little bit too much that they're making fun of this, or is it all in good fun here? And it should be something that AEW makes fun of, because the rule is fucking ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's funny. When AEW botched the ending to that pay-per-view, I saw WWE talent poking fun at them. It was funny. There's nothing wrong with that. It was fucking funny. So why not poke some fucking fun at them? At the same time, this no leg slap rule is fucking funny, and we're not allowed to poke fun of it because WWE might get angry. They can't suck the fun out of their own company and someone else's at the same fucking time.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
I don't mind it. I think people are just looking for something to complain about, when really it's not something that needs to be complained about. WWE's rule is the one that you got to complain about, because it's ridiculous. Anyway, Impact and AEW, obviously it's going to be Kenny Omega versus Rich Swan for the championships. I believe it's a title versus title match. Now, I read, and I don't know how likely this is. Plans could obviously change, but Impact and AEW have no plans, according to The Observer, no plans for this upcoming match with Kenny Omega and Rich Swan. Now, this is going to be one of the biggest matches that Impact puts on all year. And there's a working relationship between New Japan, AEW, and Impact. And apparently, according to Meltzer, they have not agreed on any plans for the storyline after Rebellion, according to the latest Observer newsletter. Impact reportedly wants a champion that will be able to appear on their weekly shows, while Tony Khan doesn't want his champion to lose at any point, which could pose some issues. Meltzer says this, and I quote, Impact wants a champion who, for the most part, will be on television every week. Tony Khan wants a champion who won't lose anywhere until he loses their title first. Anyway, you can do the math from there, but we do know no plan is in place after what happens only for that night, and we saw with Sammy Guevara how well that worked out, end quote. Jesse, do you think that they have no plans, or Impact gonna suck it up and do what is right and give Kenny Omega the world championship?
They booked Kenny Omega versus Rich Swan in a title versus title match. Yeah. Now, unless they change that stipulation to non-title match or only one title on the line, and not Kenny's, I don't care what Meltzer said. I don't care what Tony Khan says. I don't care what anybody in Impact says. Kenny Omega is leaving that match as champion of AEW and Impact. That's just the end of the fucking story.
My question is to you: Why would you even book the match?
Why would you even book it?
Why would you even book the fucking match if you had no plans to go ahead and go all the way with it? Like, we all know Rich Swan is not becoming the AEW champion because he's not an AEW superstar. Kenny Omega and AEW are the ones who are partnering with Impact. So, as far as I'm concerned, Kenny Omega is right now at the top of the fucking industry. Rich Swan could do without those championships. You do what's best for the overall storyline arc here with between the partnership and both companies. And at the end of it all, Impact should really hunker down and in the absence of that Impact World Championship, raise the X Division title or raise the Women's Championship. Or better yet, why don't you resurrected the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Why don't you use that as the main championship until the Impact Championship comes back over to Impact? There's ways around it.
This shit that Meltzer said is a complete fucking farce. There's no way they booked and advertised that match and did not know where they were going to go with it.
Oh, here's a better question. How do you end the match?
Only two things are going to happen at the end of this match. Kenny walks away with all titles, or they end in a fuck finish and you get screwed over by your fan base. I mean, they're going to let you fucking have it. They're going to fucking kill you.
Of course they will.
They're going to kill you. So I'm done talking about this because as far as I'm concerned, Kenny is already champion of both fucking brands.
Yeah.
There's no getting out of it. Unless you change the stipulations of the match, there's just no getting out of it. Kenny will have a bunch of gold on his shoulder after that match.
Just do what you got to do. Simple.
Sucks. The only reason this story came up and came out because the ending is so fucking predictable. Everybody knows Meltzer's on the AEW payroll. He's literally in backstage. I mean, he's in on every fucking thing.
I could see that.
The match has no heat. Everybody knows it's gonna win. They're just waiting for it to happen. So putting something out there like it's not a foregone conclusion that he's gonna lose, that Rich Swan is gonna lose, might help the pay-per-view. But no, we know Kenny's winning that fucking title.
Yeah. It needs to happen, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. So Scott D'Amore and whoever else, Don Callis, I'm sure, is still the creative guy over there. He knows more than anybody what needs to happen. He just needs to get Impact on board with his decision, and there's only one decision. Omega walks away with all the gold.
Yeah, it does. I mean, look, though, Tony Khan calls what happens in anything but Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I mean, if Impact doesn't like it, then they don't get Kenny Omega on their show, and that's not what they want. So there's no discussion about who wins between Rich Swan and Kenny fucking Omega, all right? Because this is over.
Yeah. Yeah, Daryl, what's up, brother, in the chat? He says, double pin, double DQ, or double count out. Both men keep their belts. Nah, man, that's going to, like Jesse said, it's going to anger both fan bases.
Yeah, you'll get slaughtered by your fan base.
I think the AEW fans are expecting Omega to win. I think the Impact fans are expecting Omega to win. You give them what they are paying for.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a fuck finish in the main event after sitting through a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I mean, it's just wrestling fan 101. I mean, look, if hypothetically, if Roman Reigns and WWE and Roman Reigns were in this forbidden door together, and Roman comes over to AEW and he's challenging Darby Allin title versus title, there's no fucking discussion on who's gonna fucking win, okay?
Yeah.
There is no talk. I mean, and that's how they booked this over here. There is no, I wonder who's gonna win this. No, you just told me that Kenny Omega will be presented this title at this pay-per-view at Impact. That's what you just told me.
Yeah.
So,
people in the chat, the Dud says it'll be worse than Hell in a Cell 2019. No.
Yeah. Nothing will be worse.
It's not even going to be a tenth of that, but you're trending towards the right direction there. You don't want to anger any fan base.
Yeah, again, something like that is a build-up, guys. That's what people don't get. It's not like we got one ending to a match we didn't like and we shit on the company. That built up to a powder keg of a series of terrible fucking booking that people just get sick of and just outlashed at that ending.
Yeah. Listen, the end goal here is Omega and Ibushi. So, I mean, Ibushi's the New Japan World Champion. He's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion over there. I mean, what that match is what you need to be thinking about. Paul Heyman always said, I'll never forget him saying, the way he goes about things is he books backwards. What do you want your end goal to be? You build from the end all the way to the beginning. That's how you do it. So clearly that's the direction that they're going in, according to a lot of people. If that is truly the case, what type of match between Omega and Ibushi is going to have the biggest value? And it's going to be the belt collector Omega going after Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, you book that match, title versus title. Yeah. I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah, that's a whole different can of worms.
I have no idea who's going to win that because Kenny can just as easily get his ass kicked by the New Japan champion. So I don't know.
Yeah, very interesting. But I do agree with Jesse. I think Meltzer is bullshitting everybody, and there's only one outcome there, and that is Omega walking away with all the gold. Jade Cargill, Jesse versus Danny Jordynne. This one lasted 2 minutes. Jade looked very good for the 2 minutes that she was in the ring, but this cannot be a weekly trend for Jade Cargill. A bunch of bicep flexes and a bunch of fixing her hair and posing and all this other shit that she was doing in the ring. Out of all that, she had a great release German suplex, which could have been completely terrifying if it was just another quarter inch, the way she landed on her neck. And then she kept up another roundhouse kick to her face to Danny Jordynne. And then she delivered her finisher, which I believe is that face plant sit out buster that she does. And that's it. And that was pretty much all Jade Cargill did in the match. Jesse, what do you think about her in the ring now, being that you've seen her in a tag team element? She really did great there, and now she's in a one-on-one element here. What do you take away from both matches, and what needs to be worked on here for Jade Cargill?
I think she's doing absolutely perfect right now for her level of experience and everything considered. Of course, she has her twerks in the ring, all these different hair flicks and things like that. These are all comfort moves. It's usually something to do as you gather yourself, figure out what the next spot is, make sure you don't mess it up, and then go at it. But yeah, her spots are getting very repetitive with, the hair, this and that, and the flexing. But she's very green. It comes with it. But for her experience level, I love where she is right now. She reminds me, and that's why I text you what I said. She reminds me of a younger, inexperienced Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
she really, really does. But the way Charlotte started in the ring in NXT, she looks just as green as Jade does right now. And I even said to you, I hope that she does not become the AEW version of Charlotte Flair, because she looks like someone that they can push and catapult right to the top.
Yeah. And
kind of over push. And I hope they don't do that. I hope they start her off at the bottom, let them squash a lot more jobbers and work her way up there. I hope they don't put the rocket pack to her. But she reminds me of a very young and green Charlotte Flair.
Listen, she looks the part. That's obvious to anybody with a pair of eyes. But at some point, she's going to need to at least know what she's doing in that ring. She could probably get by not wrestling like a Sasha Banks or a Becky Lynch or a Io Shirai. She doesn't need to do that. I would prefer that she learns as much as she can. I want her to be the very best that she can, but she can definitely be a number one just based on her looks and minimal wrestling ability. But is it going to get to a point, Jesse, where you feel she's going to really get down and dirty? All the the bicep flexes and the posing and the hair fixing during the match, because she's, obviously an attractive woman. Is that going to be the only thing that she does in the ring, or is she actually going to get down and dirty and really, get that dirt underneath the fingernails and fucking wrestle like we want to see in this women's division?
She has to crawl. She has to crawl before she can walk and run.
Yeah.
That's why we got this quick jobber, and this is how you build up someone. You put her in. For as green as she is, she has a lot of limitations, a lot of things she cannot do well. We didn't see any of that in this match because you highlight the things that she can do well.
Yeah.
You find someone that can work with her and showcase the things that she does fantastically. Now, when she starts getting into longer matches with more experienced wrestlers, we will start to see her inexperience on the mat come through a little bit more. And then we can see what she has to work on as she works on it and things like that. I mean, look at the progress we've seen Britt Baker get over in the last year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe they have someone specifically working with the women in the ring. And maybe that person is also going to work with Jade, because I don't see why she can't progress very well. She looks like she is ready to progress and learn at an extremely fast rate. I just hope they don't overdo it and over push her.
She does, and she's got good footing in the ring from what I see. She's got good presence. She knows what she's doing. The moves that she has done have been executed very well. But I don't mind. I don't mind if she is in job matches for 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, I enjoy the job match. You know, it's a lost art, because when I was watching WWF Superstars back in the day on Fox 5 here in New York City on a Saturday or Sunday, you know, you get a job match, you get a squash match, and you get to see somebody over a nice extended, 2-3 months, and you get to see their moveset, you get to see their repertoire, you get to see something that, new that they added, because you remember, what you watch over the last 2 or 3 months, and you see something new. Oh, look, they're growing, they're getting better. That's what I want to see with Jade Cargill, and I hope that's the direction that Tony Khan is going in, and I would like to think so, because Tony Khan is a very old school guy. So if he's going that direction with Jade Cargill, I'm telling everybody right now, that's the exact route that she needs to be on, and I don't need them to stray from that, because I want to see her succeed, because what we've seen in the last 2 matches has been very promising.
Yeah, she has the presence, the in-ring presence of China.
She does,
but she can work 10 times better than China ever could, and China made it China made it to household name level
with minimal wrestling ability.
Minimal, yeah, with minimal. China was never a good wrestler. I don't think I ever seen her put on one great wrestling match.
No,
she had a presence about herself. She got over, and Jade has all of that. Jade has everything that China has in the package that got China over, and more, because she can already wrestle better than she can. But again, that package just has to be presented to us the right way. Not overdone, but in due time, she can be very, very big for them in the women's division.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do here. And again, they're on the right path. Hopefully, Tony Khan stays on that path with her.
Yeah.
MJF. This was an unbelievable promo, unbelievable night for MJF, and now his new group and what they're calling the Pinnacle of AEW. MJF and his new group walked out. FTR, Wardlow, Shawn Spears, Tully Blanchard himself, obviously. Tully spoke first and said it was great to be here with this group because they took out the greatest stable in AEW last week. He said they're the baddest group in the company, and they are at the pinnacle of the sport. Tully started his career with the greatest group in wrestling, and he's going to finish his career with the greatest group in wrestling. Very straightforward by Tully, but he did not stutter on his words. Tully then handed the mic to MJF, says it wasn't easy to take a backseat to Chris Jericho, doing all the hijinks and the dinner debonaires and all that stuff, but it worked. He perceived to be in the inner circle, to take over the inner circle. Everybody thought it was hunky-dory. Everybody thought it was just, them being buddy-buddy was just a ruse because he wanted to defeat the strongest faction in AEW and build one even stronger in the ashes of the inner circle. So he named them the Pinnacle, and MJF went down the line in their group, highlighting all their accomplishments, calling Shawn Spears the chairman, underutilized, undervalued, a veteran of veterans, he called him. MJF said that the FTR boys were the greatest tag team in the world today. He called Wardlow the greatest henchman in wrestling, and the Pinnacle will be the backbone of AEW for years to come. They will take what they want, and MJF concluded this by saying to Jericho, "I'm better than you, and you know it." And then he said, in the beginning of the promo, I loved it, and I missed this. He said, "Well, I guess I'm the Judas now, huh?" This was a great promo, Jesse. I mean, I'm very excited about what MJF has built here. And I remember I said to you last week, is this going to be the pinnacle of MJF's career where it's going to catapult him to the AEW World Championship when it's his time. And he came off like a fucking world champion tonight, man. I don't know about you, but that's the man that's going to be leading this company at 24 years old. They are, it's plain as day to anybody. They're grooming this guy to be the center of this company.
Yeah. It really does. It feels like he's got a little bit of time to go though, because I don't see him in a feud with Kenny Omega.
No.
So
no, it's gonna be Page. It's gonna be Adam Page.
Yeah, he'll get his feud when they get that title on a top baby face.
Yeah.
So and Kenny's gonna be champion for a little while.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely going down the right path. I mean, to get someone who's already ready, as far as most fans are concerned, to a spot where he can hold the world title in AEW.
Yeah. He also said about Jericho's hairline. He said every time Jericho talked, you had to stand back about as far as your hairline. And he said he and Sammy Guevara stood about as far apart from each other as, I don't know, your left pec and your right pec. So, MJF really went in on Chris Jericho tonight. But, Jericho's going to be out for a while. He's going to sell that injury. I do think that this is going to take MJF to the next level. And I do think I seen a report on Twitter about the dates that AEW had rescheduled from Boston to Philly to Rochester, New York, that we were supposed to get before the pandemic hit. They reshuffled them to September and October of this year. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be on TV or in a different venue when they eventually move out of Daly's place. But like I said, I am absolutely sold on this being the feud for the Pinnacle in 2021 with the Inner Circle. I do see Jesse Blood and Guts eventually being a thing, and this is what the match is going to be centered around: the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. Yeah.
It looks like they're going to do exactly what we said last week. Inner Circle was off TV tonight. I think they take a little bit of time off, go away for a little bit, and let the Pinnacle build up their heel status, let them become real jerks, and then Inner Circle comes back as the baby faces to come back to try to take them out, and then we get Blood and Guts.
Yeah, you know what I also liked? I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but I'm very old school in my ways as well. Everything that you see with the Inner Circle lines up perfectly with the Pinnacle. You got MJF, who's the leader, against Chris Jericho. You could put Shawn Spears in there against Sammy Guevara. You could put Wardlow in there against Jake Hager. And you could put Santana Ortiz in there against FTR. It kind of matches up perfectly with the way both of these groups balance out.
Yeah, it does. I think about that, yeah.
So, this is going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. MJF is 24 years old. He brags about his age. And, it's still amazing to me. It's one of the best things about watching pro wrestling, to see someone that young who is right now, realistically, could be at the top of any fucking promotion at 24 years old. It's so bizarre to even think about. He's not even started yet. How good is he going to be when he's 30? How good is he going to be when he's at the Randy Orton fucking level of where he is in the industry? We may be looking at one of the greatest ever.
Scary good.
It's really fucking scary.
Yeah.
So, and he knows that too, and he's got every right to brag about that. Whether he's in character or not, it's just the truth.
He's got all the fucking tools. He has them all.
So that's happening, guys, and the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle is well on its way. Private Party, The Butcher and the Blade with Matt Hardy versus Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt, and Bear Country. This was a 10-man tag. I didn't really care too much about this, Jesse. I think the biggest thing I took away from this was Bear Country, getting to see them on Dynamite. Awesome to see them after I checked out some of what they did on AEW Dark. But we got the Hardy team of Private Party, Butcher and Blade, and Matt Hardy winning here in about 10 minutes. Not much going on here, man. It was fine for what it was. I don't know what's going on between all 10 of these guys, but it was just a filler tag team match on Dynamite. No more, no less.
Yeah, did you see Matt Hardy's promo where he kind of dipped into his broken gimmick for a half second there?
I did.
It looked like it was a mistake. But I don't know. Sometimes these guys have a tendency to make a mistake and then turn it into the storyline.
Well, I got news on Matt Hardy and the broken gimmick in just a second because he did mention it in a recent interview. But we got Boulder of Bear Country tagging in here, hit an exploded suplex on Cassidy, Jurassic Express, and Bear Country couldn't work together, so Stunt tagged himself back into the match. He was overwhelmed by Private Party. Marco Stunt got a little glimmer of hope here, but was attacked by Hardy, allowing Private Party to hit Gin and Juice. Hardy tagged in, hit the Twist of Fate, obviously stole the pinfall for himself and wins the match for his team. Like I said, fun tag team match, but I don't really care about anything going on here. But as far as Hardy and the broken gimmick, he did mention that the broken gimmick did not translate well in AEW. He actually had a recent interview and said this, and I quote, "Broken Matt Hardy is a very audience-friendly character. It needs a crowd. It needs an audience." And it just was not in the cards to be Broken Matt Hardy because his debut was in the first ever empty arena era, pandemic era show, the first empty arena show that AEW had. Broken Matt Hardy is very theatrical, and it doesn't translate well to the current AEW audience that sits at home and watches on television because I realized that this is a much younger audience. It's a much more sports-centric type audience. I think if we had been in arenas full of people, it would have been different. But considering we're now playing to the television audience, it was better for me to zone in and focus on one thing. And I think being Big Money Matt and being a heel, considering how I'm an older guy here and it's such a younger demographic, I think that's the way to go for me. So I'm very happy with that groove that I'm currently in right now. It's very difficult to disagree with him, Jesse. Matt Hardy's a very smart man. He knows better than anybody what to do for himself. And with what he said here, it sounds like Big Money Matt may just be a temporary thing. And when we get back to normal situations with these crowds and venues and AEW going back on tour, we could see the broken gimmick again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it just got old.
I could see that too.
I think it got a little stale. And I think he kind of ran it into the ground himself. Outside of the delete chance, there was nothing much more to be done as far as fan participation and things like that. We saw it in Impact. We saw it in WWE. He brought it over here. It's the same gimmick. He just needed to change it up. That's all. I mean, he can change it up, do something different for a while and come back to it, sure. But I just think it got a little stale. That's all. I mean, there's nothing. It happens. That's why Jericho's reinvented himself 47,000 times. You have to stay fresh in this industry. You can't do the same gimmick for your whole career.
Yeah, and I do think that when Matt, doing this Big Money Matt thing, I still think it's temporary. Whether it's for the broken gimmick to return or not, that remains to be seen. But I don't know how long Jeff has on his contract. When Jeff is done with WWE, I do see him ending his career with Matt in AEW, and I do think that they get one final run at holding the AEW Tag Team Championships because the story is just there for them to hold the AEW Tag Team titles, rounding out the fact that they held Tag Team Championships in every promotion they've been in.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Matt would be fine. I mean, look, he probably knows that it just got stale.
Yeah.
But you can't come out in the interview and say, that gimmick got old and stale. Yeah. So he's saying all the right things. But truth be told, it just got a little stale. He had to revisit something else, something new, or back into his bag of tricks, either one. Yeah. And just come back and revisit it. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Moving on, Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston talk backstage. Moxley says he's not in a good mood. When is he ever in a good mood, is Moxley? He says he should be on a beach somewhere sipping a drink. Man, that sounds good. Tired of this New York cold, man. But he's got to step up and fix the real problem. Moxley mocked the Good Brothers. He says he doesn't like them at all. He said they're cheap shot artists. He made fun of Gallows eyes, comparing them to plastic eyes kids glue on construction paper in preschool. Certainly has a way with words, this Moxley. Moxley said this isn't the Impact Zone. This is their home. He asked Mr. Kingston if it's legal to say Bullet Club, or actually Kingston asked Moxley if it's legal to say Bullet Club. Moxley shrugged his shoulders. He didn't know what the answer was. He muttered Forbidden Door. Kingston said the Good Brothers are cowards, and cowards die 1,000 deaths, whereas he and Mox are soldiers, and soldiers only die once. Chemistry is there for sure between these two. I love the chemistry. I don't know where they go from here on out. Will they be a permanent act for the time being? Will they go for the tag team championships? Is this the progression of Moxley after life of being a world champion? Or is this just something for him to do with his good buddy until his wife has their child? I don't know.
I don't know. I heard commentary mention something about how Eddie would do anything for his family.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to find out what the fuck happened to Butcher and Blade. They were in his family. Does he not give a shit? I mean, did they have a falling out? What the hell happened?
I don't know. Maybe we don't know about it. Maybe it's Tony Khan taking a page out of Vince McMahon's book and we don't get that part of the story written. It's just dropped like we don't even remember.
Yeah, just forget it. He'll do anything for his family. Where is his family? They're fucking getting ripped off by Matt Hardy somewhere.
I don't know. I don't know. But the team of Kingston and Moxley does obviously fit very well because they know each other, and that's the type of chemistry that I like, that genuine chemistry.
Yeah.
Dasha interviewed Christian Cage backstage. She asked what brings him to AEW. Now, I do got news on Christian Cage. I'll go over that in a bit after we go over this promo. He said, there are wrestlers who bust their ass more than anyone else on the card. They're called a workhorse. He said, that's his reputation. I make wrestlers better and I make wrestlers level up. He said, Moxley once said he thought he knew about wrestling until he got in the ring with him. He says he's not a workhorse. He is the workhorse. He said, if anyone has forgotten, they'll remember quick once they see him in the ring. Christian says he might have ruffled some feathers as the veteran with a big name coming in to take someone's spot. He says he wants to put people's minds at ease. He said the only spot that interests him is the one held by Omega. He said he is in AEW to cement his legacy and put into action 3 simple words, outwork everyone. But the most important thing he said in this promo was that he understands he needs to get in the ring and get some wins, and he will meet Omega sometime in the future when he does accomplish those things. Now, I know Jesse and I ranted on this for the last couple weeks, stemming from the Revolution debut that was a complete fail, and then last week's Dynamite debut, which looked to be him and Omega for the AEW World Championship. I appreciate the fact that that line was said in the promo because it had a lot of people worried that this was going to be a WWE thing, a legend coming on in and taking a spot from the young kid going right after the world title with absolutely no build or nothing for that legend to deserve a championship match. I'm glad that they put that in the promo, Jesse, but I'm also glad that possibly Tony Khan realized that a lot of people were coming down on him for doing a very WWE thing, and he changed course very quickly. I'm not sure if it was shows like ours here or if it was tweets on social media that said the same thing that me and Jesse have been saying for a couple weeks now. I don't know what it was, but somewhere along the line, Tony Khan seemed to have changed his mind on how to present Christian Cage.
Thank God, man. Because, it just, the move that it looked like he was trying to do, it went against everything that he stood for when he launched his company.
Yeah.
Wins and losses matter, ranking system, this, that. We get Christian Cage, let's put him in the ring with Kenny. I mean, I don't even like how he's even mentioning Kenny's name. But whatever. I mean, as long as he realizes you just can't pick him up off the street and then put him in the main event picture. No. So as long as he's real, and maybe this is his way of completely backing down from, you just can't make it go away. You just can't put him in jobber matches and pretend like he wasn't standing over Kenny holding the title. You have to address it. Now you did it. So now that he did, he said, hey, I'll come back to you when it's my time, when I earn my spot, and then I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He is a very good promo. Always was a good promo, in my opinion. He's a very good wrestler, too. It's not the fact that I'm against Christian Cage in any sense of the word. Do I think he is like a legend? I'm not going to go out there and really emphasize the word legend when I'm talking about Christian Cage, but he has every given right to want to wrestle in AEW, sign with AEW. WWE wasn't going to give him the proper send-off he thinks he deserves. He wanted to close out the part of his life, his WWE, his wrestling career, now an AEW career, his own way. So that's fine. There's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. It seems like they're doing it the right way, and hopefully it stays that way. We know he's not going to win the World Championship from Omega, but if he's going to be there to genuinely, make everybody better that he's in the ring with, or at least try to, I'm for it. I'm going to give him a shot. I just don't want it just came off in a way. First of all, the announcement of him was fucking terrible. The execution of it was awful. Tony Khan hyped that shit up like it was Brock Lesnar or CM Punk or John Cena, and the level of hype that went into it ultimately to beat Christian Cage made Tony Khan look like an idiot, and then Christian Cage, his debut looked bad, and then what they did last week made him look worse. So I'm glad that they're finally now on the right path. So hopefully that continues.
Yeah, I wouldn't call Christian Cage a legend, but I would call Christian a legend as it pertains to Edge and Christian.
Yeah. That is perfectly said. Perfectly said.
Yeah, his singles career is nowhere near legendary status.
No.
In any company.
No.
I mean, I don't know about what he did in Impact, but
nobody cares.
No, but as a tag team, as one of the best tag teams to ever lived, you got to mention Christian because you got to mention Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
So when you're in the talks of the best ever of anything, it makes you a legend. Not as a single though, So if Edge, left WWE, came over to AEW, teamed up with Christian, and then said they want to go for the tag titles, they're a legend enough to get that kind of chance. I get.
Yeah. You said it perfectly. Well, what did Christian do in TNA that's gonna stick in the minds of everybody watching professional wrestling? Barely, a small percentage of the wrestling populace knows what Christian Cage did in TNA, and even at that point, it did nothing for the company. It did nothing for Christian Cage. It made him into a bigger star than he was in WWE singles wise. It gave him the opportunity to break away from Edge, so it worked. But when he went right back to WWE, he was still outshined by everybody that was in that World Heavyweight Championship picture. And in WWE, he was the guy that transcended the ladder match. He was a guy that fucking brought that tag team championship, roundabout with the Dudleys and the Hardys to household level status. Yeah. I mean, that's what you're going to be known for, not for what you did in fucking TNA. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, Devon Dudley, can't just show up and say, I'm a legend, so I should be at the top of the card. You're not a legend by yourself.
No.
Not by yourself, you're not.
Give me a break. Christian is not way better than Edge. People in the chats. Christian is way better. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Come on.
Never was.
He might have been a Hall of Famer in TNA, but with his career in WWE, he's a Hall of Famer with Edge.
Yeah.
In WWE.
Look, I don't like saying sentences like Christian is not as good as Edge, because it makes it seem like Christian's not good. And that's not what we're trying to say. It's just trying to say that Edge is that good.
Yeah.
There are tons and tons and tons and tons of stars who are not as good as Edge, and Christian's one of them. Yeah.
I agree. But there's news on Christian. How often he will wrestle for AEW. Tony Khan revealed during the Revolution post-show, after the show was over, that Cage contacted him and says he wants to wrestle on a regular basis. Tony Khan says, and I quote, he was interested in wrestling on a regular basis. He gave me a call and I said, I'd really like you to come wrestle for AEW. And I said, I really like to have you wrestle in AEW for me. That sounds awesome. It all came together great. I think it's going to be really, really good. So he's going to wrestle on a semi-regular basis. Hopefully his body holds up. And then Christian actually had no idea AEW would bring him in as a Hall of Fame worthy name. And he says this while speaking with Renee Paquette on her podcast, Oral Sessions. He says, and I quote, I didn't know, as far as I knew at that point in time, it was going to be a complete secret. I was just going to show up and it was going to be a big surprise. I didn't realize it was going to be this big announcement. I'm being 100% honest. On Wednesday, there was nothing signed. It was a shock to me when I heard it. And obviously, Tony and I hit it off pretty quick. And we felt comfortable enough that we definitely got it going. And we got work done together. So Christian then recalls Tony Khan called him. As soon as he called him, the deal came together in a hurry. It all happened so quick, says Christian. I wasn't sure I was going to go after. And all the talks I had were very cordial with WWE. I'm good friends with you. I'm good friends with John Moxley. And he talked to me and had his opinions, and it made me kind of think, okay, maybe I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't at least explore all my options. And at this final stage of my career, I ended up having a conversation with Tony, and it just escalated so quickly. It went very fast. Within a week, it was a done deal. So he says, Jesse, that he had no idea that Tony Khan was going to, bring him in as a Hall of Fame worthy name. It kind of sounds like it, and I mentioned it on the Revolution podcast. Tony Khan kind of marked out when he got Christian, and he kind of over-embellished on something that really didn't need any introduction at all. He should have just let it naturally happen.
Yes, he did. I know there's a lot of people out there that keep saying, oh, well, it's the fans that worked themselves into a shoot.
Tony Khan did.
No, Tony Khan worked us into this shoot. I mean, because, look, if he just would have brought him out with no fanfare, it would have been incredible. It would have been great. But when you start the build the way that he did, yeah, our imaginations are gonna run wild, man. That's and you built it to that point.
Yeah.
Maybe not intentionally, but you can't tell anybody I got this huge mega Hall of Fame worthy signing, and you gotta see who it is. You're not gonna believe it. Why would we start thinking people like Christian Cage? Going by what your buildup is, I'm thinking somebody like Brock Lesnar, CM Punk. I mean, if he just would have been watching the pay-per-view and then all of a sudden here comes Christian Cage with a contract signing, dropped it and walked off, I'd have been like, holy shit, didn't see that coming. Nice. Okay, let's see what they do with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have. Listen, man, we might not have been so hard on it if it was just something that came out of nowhere and nobody said a goddamn fucking word leading up to the show.
Yeah. That's all he had to do. I think they realized that. I think they kind of realized, okay, maybe I overkill. Let's kind of just back it up a little bit, and they did. They backed up from him holding up that title. They backpedaled a lot with this promo from Christian tonight.
Yeah.
Which I like. I mean, I love. And like I told you earlier, I think if they were going to go full steam ahead with him and Kenny, he would have came out and to jump on Kenny when they were beating down Moxley.
Yeah.
What better way to get yourself over as a babyface than come help the top babyface?
Yep.
So
yeah, and we're gonna get into that tag team match tonight. He could have came out tonight and saved Moxley. I was expecting somebody to come out, whether it was an Impact superstar making a debut or Christian. It just seems coming from last week, like you said. And last week they taped this show. They taped it on Thursday. They were live on Wednesday. They taped on Thursday. So in between what had been said on Sunday with Revolution, going into the post-show for Wednesday's Dynamite, and then into Thursday, something happened there where Tony Khan seen something online or he heard something on a show, and it changed his mind. And that's what we got tonight. And like you said, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind he changed the course of direction here for some reason, because we didn't see him at all besides this promo.
Yeah, I mean, like we said before, we talked about it before the announcement even came. Like, Tony Khan's a big fucking mark, dude, and that's it. He just kind of marked out a little bit too much over Christian. And
wait a minute. There's two people in the chat that said Ryback just signed to AEW. Can you look into that for me, please?
Oh God, because don't fucking
that would be fucking terrible.
Don't
that
fucking
would be
tell
terrible.
me this.
I don't know if you guys are legit. He's got me blocked, so I don't fucking know.
Give me a second. I'll tell you, cause
oh my God, chat, you guys are fucking crazy.
Ignore them. What's the next segment?
The next segment, we got Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston defeating the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. This was a very good tag team match. We go with a magic killer on the ramp right before the match started to take Moxley out of it. So this leaves Eddie Kingston 2-on-1 with the Good Brothers. They continue to beat down Eddie Kingston. Kingston fired up as Moxley made his way back into the match. Exploder suplex from Kingston. Finally got enough time for him to tag Moxley back in for the hot tag. Moxley sent Anderson into the corner with a shotgun dropkick and fought off Gallows, who tried to get involved. He flattened Anderson with a lariat, followed up with a pile driver for a 2 count. Always great to see pile driver on TV. Moxley then took out Gallows with a ridiculously terrible tope suicida. Just stop doing it at that point, please. Anderson surprised Moxley with a spine buster, who, by the way, has a fantastic spine buster, does Carl Anderson. Good Brothers hit double teams on both guys. Moxley kicked out at 2. They set up for a magic killer. Kingston broke it up as he had Gallows on the floor. Moxley then rolled up Anderson with an inside cradle for the win, and that was pretty much it. After the match, the Good Brothers attacked Kenny Omega. Actually, the Good Brothers did not attack Kenny Omega. I'm sorry. The Good Brothers attacked Moxley and Eddie Kingston, and then Kenny Omega comes out, and he struts out to the ring. He's doing whatever the fuck he's doing. He's like jamming along to his theme music. Really dick move by Omega. So Omega and Callis came from the tunnel carrying a chair. Kingston tried to save Moxley, but he was taken out by the Good Brothers, who hit him with a magic killer. They wrapped Kingston's leg around the chair, Pillmanized his ankle with a stomp off the top rope. Then they tried to do the same thing to Moxley's head, but the Young Bucks ran out to stop this. They had some heated words after an exchange. The Bucks refused to 2 sweets. Omega and the Good Brothers, and Moxley grabbed the chair to chase everyone away in this closing segment here. So this was a fine tag team match, Jesse. Where do you see all this going? Are we getting Omega and Moxley to continue? Is that in the past, or is it now centralized around the Bucks, Don Callis, Omega, and the Good Brothers?
It looks like it might have been Moxley and Kingston tagging together. But I think now that they kind of pull back on the Christian possible feud, that they may slide Moxley back into there, or maybe they'll keep this feud into the tag area with Kingston and Moxley, and you get Kenny and one of the Good Brothers, or add a third for a 6-man. But yeah, we've kind of seen Kenny and Moxley enough.
Yeah.
So
what about Omega and Kingston in a one-off for the world title? Well, it doesn't even have to be for the world title. It could be a non-title.
It would just be that. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
What's the eventual point? They didn't build Kingston up enough to make anybody believe that he might win it. So yeah, just save it.
What about? It's got my brain thinking, because after the match was over, I was expecting either Christian. Christian was my number one to maybe come out and save Moxley and Eddie Kingston here. But I was also in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, we got this partnership with Impact, and we got this AEW thing going on with Impact. I was thinking Omega, Carl Anderson, and Doc Gallows with Moxley, Kingston, and I was in the back of my mind hoping Sami Callihan was going to emerge from the goddamn tunnel, man. I think I would have marked out. I think that would have been fucking awesome.
By the way, feel free to ban whoever said that, because Ryback is not.
Okay, there you go.
Nowhere near.
So, chat, mods, just ban whoever said Ryback was Gabe606. I'll do it. I'm out of here myself. I'll take great pleasure in doing that. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Ryback is a bunch of bullshit, man. So, yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm glad it's not Christian, but, Omega, and again, Jesse, we talked about it earlier. Omega really has nothing going on as far as top contenders for the world title. We've already seen Moxley. Kingston's not really in position to do anything against Moxley. It makes even more sense now for Moxley to take that title off of Rich Swann.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if Cody wasn't busy beating guys like Penta, maybe we'd get some build up. Hey, look, Cody's built himself up to be a contender for that title. Oh, wait, he can't challenge for it anymore. Forgot about that. Why is he beating people?
Listen.
Fuck, dude.
Why? We're over Cody Rhodes here, man.
No, because guys like Fenix and Penta could have been built up to take on a good Kenny feud by now.
I don't want to put Penta in there against a Kenny Omega when there's only one outcome there.
There is only one. There's gonna be only one outcome in any Kenny match for quite some time.
Yeah.
The only one believable to beat him right now is Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, I know you love to complain about Sting, but tonight we can't complain about Sting. It's all about Darby, the TNT title, and Lance Archer. Schaivone introduced Sting and Darby Apparently, Jesse, you have a problem with Tony Schiavone being the guy interviewing Sting every single week. Why is that?
We've seen it. Why do you get upset when you see the same Ricochet versus Hurt Business match? Why does that upset you?
Well, let me ask you: were you a kid who was always upset about Mean Gene Okerlund being the one to interview Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan and Mean Gene Okerlund have a chemistry and a bond and the years and the gimmick that they have together, so that you become used to it.
So does Tony Schiavone and Sting.
Sting just got here. Tell me anybody who knows about anything that happened between Schiavone and Sting 30 fucking years ago.
It's on TNT.
It's played, man. Just find something different for him and Darby to do, rather than come out and talk to Schiavone and then someone else comes out to interrupt.
And, ladies and gentlemen, now you know why Edgar Estrada is a mod inside the OTS venue.
Why? Because he likes stupid Sting booking? Let me guess. So next week, it'll be different. Next week, we'll have Sting come out and talk to Schiavone, and then have Jake walk out of the tunnel first, then Archer, and then they interrupt, right? We just seen this shit, man. They literally did the same thing last week.
Listen, man, this was easily the best. This is one of the best parts of the entire night. I don't want to say it's the best night because you had MJF's incredible promo and then the Thunder Rosa match with Britt Baker. This was a solid top three, rounding out the top three night for Dynamite here with this promo.
This promo was not as the segment was not as great as you think.
Listen, the segment was great. Let me get into it.
No, the Lance Archer promo was
Let me get into it. Darby was out there with Sting, and Darby says he has only one time as far as times he's defended the TNT title. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He only defended the TNT title 3 times since winning it. So it's more than once, 3 times since winning. He said he wants more of that fighting champion mentality. Week in and week out, he wants to defend the championship. He says he wants to start paying tribute to the greatest TNT champion of all time, and a Brody chant broke out. Not a Cody chant. It was a Brody chant, okay? There were some people mixing it up with Cody. Sounded like it, but it was Brody. He said if the Dark Order, clearly he went right into the Dark Order, wants a shot, step up. Lance Archer and Jake Roberts walked through the tunnel. No theme music. Lance Archer just had a microphone in his hand. He yelled, this should be his time. He laughed at Darby. He said to Darby, the internet might be, where all your fans reside. They might think you're terrific, but as far as I'm concerned, you're the biggest indie-rific joke this business has ever seen. I hear you like coffins so much. I'm about to put your ass in one, he says. Got in Darby's face. Jake told Darby he's nothing but a weenie. I don't need to hear Jake saying weenie on Dynamite, please. Can we use a little bit more of adult language, please? From Jake the Snake of all fucking people. Jake then turned to Sting and says, you and I got a history. Says he's going to get what he's got coming. He said, Tony Khan better realize you don't play with fire. He said, Archer is the biggest, baddest ass in wrestling. Get ready, boys, because it's changing. When Archer and Jake left, Schiavone apologized to Sting and Darby, and then Taz all of a sudden interferes. Now, Brian Cage is out there with the rest of Team Taz. You got Ricky Starks. You got the whole gang out there. Will Hobbs is out there. Brian Cage yanked the mic away from Taz and said Taz isn't talking for him today because he's got something to say. He told Sting that he respects him now after the damnedest street fight that there's been in this business. He said Ricky Starks is wrong with or without his bat. Sting is still an icon. And Taz asked Cage, what the hell is wrong with you? What are you doing? Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks joined in, yelling at Brian Cage. Cage stormed off, and the rest of Team Taz followed him through the heel tunnel. Jesse, Archer was excellent in this role. I'm very excited to see where they go with Lance Archer. He gets better and better every single week. I'll let you say your piece on this as well. Archer seems to be the one to take that title off of Darby Allin. I'm all right with it. But as far as the Brian Cage situation, it looks like Team Taz could be without a machine in Brian Cage.
Maybe maybe it's a part of it, just trying to get back into another feud with him. Maybe we'll see. Maybe they're trying to pull a ruse. Who knows? They just broke up. No, they didn't break up a faction. I thought they broke up a faction. I couldn't see them separating Cage from Taz right now. Not at all. Not yet, at least. Could be wrong, but I don't see them separating them just yet. Sting, man, what can you say, man?
Sting is Sting. Give me your thoughts on Lance Archer.
Archer, loving Archer, man. I didn't like how they were trying to turn him babyface. It didn't come off right. But now it looks like they're turning back to the heel-ish side. But more importantly, the better part I like about it this time is he's getting way more mic time now than he did before when he started with Jake. And
he's pretty damn fucking good.
Mike, the more I love it.
Yeah, he's pretty damn fucking good for himself.
He is really good. He's good enough for me when he's out there. I want to hear him talk, and not so much Jake anymore. I mean, so I would just love to have them find something else for Jake to do. It doesn't have to be, with Archer or get him off of TV. I like Jake. I think he should be moved on to the next heel that needs a mouthpiece. I just don't think Archer needs him anymore. So Jake, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Archer can get rid of Jake as far as like kicking him to the curb, and Jake can come back with a bigger, more badass heel and come back to feud with Archer.
And who would that be?
And take your fucking pick, man. They have plenty of fucking big dudes who can use. We just talked about one. Brian Cage can use a mouthpiece. I mean, Taz has done well with him. He has. But if they want to separate him, they can put him with Jake. I mean, just an example. I I can think of plenty of people. Jake is a phenomenal mouthpiece, and he needs to be with somebody. I think he's already done his job with Archer. I think Archer's already graduated from Jake. Already.
Well, I could see that, but, to me, Tony Khan might be thinking that Lance Archer isn't at that point yet where, he is being looked at the from the audience point of view as that guy who could stand on his own yet. And he's better represented. A better representation of Lance Archer would be with Jake Roberts there.
Yeah, I could see that, starting him off and getting into this and everything else. But the last couple of promos that he's cut, I mean, it looks like when his words cut deeper and have more feeling and meaning than Jake's have.
Yep.
When Jake would come in and say what he has to say in it, I'm just like, it was better said and left well enough alone when Archer said it by himself. So, which is fine. I would love to see how they separate them. I mean, not to mention, how long can Jake keep traveling like this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So eventually they're gonna have to break them up, but it's enough. I mean, it's good to say that Jake got him over and Jake taught him well, and he flourished well under Jake's wing because he is phenomenal. Yeah,
you could definitely see that Jake influence coming through, and I'm happy to see it. And Lance Archer's time as TNT champion, I'm all for it, man. Definitely all for it.
Yeah.
Scorpio Sky, we got an interview with Scorpio, or a video package rather, not an interview, a video package with Scorpio Sky. Said he was always told nice guys finish last, and he tried to be the exception to the rule. He said they want to push Cody, but not him. And Sting, and he mentioned all these other names. Darby is the face of TNT. He said he will not be a stepping stone again. He says he's a wrestling savant and will prove it, even if he has to hurt people to do it. So, good promo by Scorpio Sky, obviously following up on the heel turn last week after attacking Darby after the TNT title match. Rey Fenix and Angelico. Filler match here, giving Rey Fenix a solid victory in 7 minutes. Phoenix landed a crucifix bomb, sit out pile driver for the win. Really nothing more than to get Rey Fenix on the right track. He beat Matt Jackson last week. He beats Angelico tonight. So clearly they're setting up the team of Rey Fenix and Pac going in against the Young Bucks, looking strong, ultimately to lose to the tag team champions. Miro, Jesse. He was interviewed by Alex Marvez, who was doing pull-ups backstage. Not Marvez, but Miro. He talked about Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy challenging him. Miro said Charles tried to sweeten the deal by offering to be his butler for life. Miro says he's moved on and has better things to do. Kip Sabian walked in and said, "No, I'm not over it." He says they ruined his wedding. He said he was supposed to care. He said Miro shoved him into his wife. Miro said Tending to his wife isn't more important than winning a match. I guess that's how he really feels about Lana being his valet or manager for years, and then having Lana be there for him with the whole wedding shit and all that garbage. So it's kind of a low blow there to Lana. Miro said tending to his wife isn't more important than winning a match. He said the worst thing for your career is having your wife at ringside. So there you go. He told him that when the bell rings, he doesn't care about him, his wife, or his family drama. I love that line. That was the best line he gave in his entire AEW run so far. He doesn't give a shit about him, his wife, or his family drama. He said all he cares about is his destiny. I wonder what his light level is, but I refrain. Ha ha ha. That's coming from a Destiny geek. I'm sorry, people, if you don't know what I'm talking about. He said he needs to be world champion. Sabian says he wants that for him. Miro said outside the ring, we're still buds. Miro walked away. Marvez asked Kip if they accept. Kip said, of course, we accept. Jesse, are we seeing the deterioration of this little tandem here between Kip Sabian and Miro? And could we finally be on our way to seeing Miro break out and be a fucking Bulgarian beast?
Yeah, they're finally starting to break him away. My only tiny concern with it is how much can Miro turn heel on Kip Sabian? So nobody cares about Kip Sabian enough to, if he gets turned on. Yeah. So I think he's gonna have to kill Penelope Ford. If he destroys Ford, that will get him over as a huge heel. That'll get him over. That'll get him great heat. Turning on Kip Sabian, all right, let's see what else he does. That's not gonna do it.
So you watched Dark Elevation, and I believe you said that there was something there that happened with Miro and Kip Sabian.
Yeah. The commentary made it a point to bring up how Miro was upset that Kip was concerned about his wife. They planted the seed. They basically told us they're breaking up. Yeah. They planted the seeds for it. They let us know where the hostility was, and so they're gonna start this breakup and see how long it takes. But it's gonna be a double turn, because unless you can't turn more heel on a bunch of heels, unless you're MJF, he just did it, but Miro can't do that with Kip Sabian. So Kip Sabian, a heel turn for Miro right now is gonna dwell on how well he does the turn with who he turns against. For instance, jumping on, beating on, and screwing over Kip Sabian, nobody's gonna give a shit about. Nobody gives a shit about. But if he fucking turns around and gives fucking Penelope a Rusev Slam or some shit, that'll do it. That'll do it.
Do you think whatever Jim Cornette said about Miro changed the course of direction here for Tony Khan to book Miro better because Jim Cornette actually absolutely shit all over Miro and Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford?
Yeah, it could have. It's hard to say because anybody could tell the writing was on the wall that this Miro gimmick was going nowhere. Of course who's to say that they wasn't already about to turn and start his turn anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. This is getting over, and then Cornette said it wasn't. Change it. No. It was pretty bad, and that's why Cornette shit on it because it had gotten pretty.
Well, yeah, and he obviously had the derogatory comments against Penelope Ford, which I don't think anybody is surprised by what he said. Jim Cornette, you got to understand, people. Yes, it was disgusting of him to say, and it's just ridiculous to even assume something like what he said. But at the end of the day, Jim Cornette has to answer to nobody. Jim Cornette is his own boss. Jim Cornette is not employed by any promotion. You're not going to cancel Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette is his own entity, so he's going to do and say what he wants to generate traffic for his podcast. If he was working with somebody like he was NWA, he would have been fired. And he was fired for the joke that he said while he was on commentary there. And now he's just gone off the deep end and he does whatever the fuck he wants and says whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, no, look, though, when people give Cornette the attention that he craves for the things that he says, then he's accomplished what he tried to.
Yeah.
That's all. You give him the time of day, then that's what he gets. I don't listen to Cornette. I don't hear anything that he says until somebody highlights it. So if Miro wouldn't have opened his damn mouth, I would have had no idea.
Yeah.
What he said. And so you give him that power.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from Jim Cornette, we don't need to talk about him and what he said about Penelope Ford. Marvez asked the Dark Order who's going to accept this challenge laid down by Darby Allin. -1 jumped in and said it would be him. Evil Uno said maybe in 9 years. And then they all voted for John Silver, and he accepted. So we're getting next week John Silver versus Darby Allin for the TNT title. Jesse, that's going to be a tremendous match.
Yeah, but we know who's winning.
I know.
Yeah.
Of course, that title's going right to Lance Archer.
Yeah, it should be a pretty good match, though.
Finally, guys, we're at the main event. We got Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker in the unsanctioned lights out match. Excellent, excellent main event. And this, I don't know, Jesse, is this the best AEW women's match so far in its history?
Oh. I think it's subjective, man. I'm not gonna lie, because I like the wrestling match that they had.
Yeah.
This was a fantastic showing, a great match in totality. I mean, it was a no holds barred, no DQ match. A lot less wrestling moves to do. This was the more entertaining match by far. Yes.
Yeah.
Best wrestling match? No, I think their last match was their best wrestling match. That was a phenomenal match. It took more skill, technical moves, things like that. But the blood and gore is always going to be more entertaining. This was fucking just way more entertaining.
I could understand your point of view. It's very subjective, and that's the right answer to go about it. Some people enjoyed this one. Some people will enjoy that one. Who gives a shit? It's both Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, and they've done excellent work together.
Yeah. They are showing awesome chemistry.
So Rebel attacked Rosa with a crutch before the match started. Baker speared Rosa onto the ramp, hit an air raid crash right then and there. Brutal stuff. Went for a cover immediately, only got a 1. They showed Sheeta, like we mentioned in the beginning of the show, watching the match on a big screen TV with the title draped over her shoulder. Baker missed a chair shot. Rosa turned the tables with chair shots of her own. Rosa sent Baker over the barricade into the ringside area. They fought in the crowd where the wrestlers stand on the right side of the ring. Baker tossed Rosa into some staging before she and Rebel set up a table. Rosa tried to gather herself here, but Baker stomped on her head right on the steel steps, which prompted blood to start dripping down from Thunder Rosa's forehead, and she was busted open. We go to commercial break. Rosa was in the ring. She tried to come back and suplex Baker into a propped-up chair in the corner. Missed it mostly, but still connected. They fought on the top rope where Baker hit a superplex onto a pile of chairs. Awesome looking spot there. Rebel then pulled out a ladder, and she and Baker took way too long setting up this ladder, allowing Rosa to bulldog Baker's face right into the ladder for a 2 count. I thought that actually had busted open Britt Baker for her portion of the blood in this match. Rosa then landed double knees in the corner, and then she took the ladder, trapped the ladder into the corner with Baker there as she sat on the ground, did a missile dropkick into the ladder. The ladder went into Baker's forehead. She got busted open. So now we got both ladies busted open. I loved Thunder Rosa's visual here with her facial expression. She looked completely just out of tune. She looked almost demonic. She wanted to kill Britt Baker at this point, so there was some nice facial expressions on Thunder Rosa there. So she drop-kicked the ladder into Baker's face. Baker was busted open. Rosa, then I believe she ate a thrust kick and a flatliner into the ladder by Baker. They fought up to the top rope again. Rosa hit a Death Valley driver onto the ladder for a near fall. I thought it was going to be a lot more impressive with the Death Valley driver. You've seen them hesitate a little bit, which looked to be a fucking treacherous spot to begin with. But they did connect. It was a little softer than I expected, but, they did hit the Death Valley driver on the ladder there. Rosa hit Baker with it. They traded strikes back and forth, and then Baker hits a DDT onto a chair. She followed it up with a curb stomp onto the chair for a near fall, which looked visually great. Baker then took the black glove from Rebel, and she was going for the lockjaw. Rebel produced a bag of thumbtacks, and thumbtacks were spread all across the ring. Baker proceeded to pour them all out in the middle of the ring. She went for a swinging net breaker, but Rosa fought out, avoided a crutch shot from Rebel. She then cracked Rebel with the crutch, drop kicked her out of the ring through a table that was set up earlier in the match on the outside. So she goes through that. Rosa escaped a Death Valley driver attempt and powerbombed Britt Baker into the tacks for a great visual, and Britt Baker kicks out of this pinfall. Baker kicked out. She had a ton of tacks in her back, so kudos to Britt Baker for taking that spot. That's gotta fucking suck. And Baker locked in the lockjaw. Rosa then rolled into the tacks, forcing Baker to break. Baker hit another thrust kick, brought Rosa down to the apron, where Rosa counted into a Fire Thunder driver through another table that was set up on the outside during the match, and the pin was made on the outside. Thunder Rosa pins Britt Baker. Awesome match. If you guys want our complete thoughts on what these two ladies did, we talked about it at the top of the show. This was a foundation for the AEW Women's Division. They broke out their inner Mick Foley and Terry Funk in this match. They did not have to. Like Jesse said, he actually preferred their regular one-on-one match. We knew these two ladies can go into this wrestling. They didn't need to do all the bells and whistles here. They produced a great main event for us that will, at the end of the year, go down as one of the more memorable main events in Dynamite for 2021. And both ladies should be proud. We should be proud of what they did tonight.
Did you see they already printed a t-shirt for Britt Baker?
And that's the one thing I forgot to put in my notes. Britt Baker, the visual of her bloody face, she looked right into the camera, and it was fucking awesome. And they put that on a t-shirt. Good for her, man. Both of these ladies deserve it. It was an awesome show.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
That is that, guys. That is the Dynamite portion of the review. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We got some super chats to go over. So if you guys want to hang out for the super chat portion, you are more than welcome to. If not, I will see you back on Friday for SmackDown. We got the go-home show before Fast Lame on Sunday night. So join me then live back on the podcast. And make sure to, guys, hit that thumbs up, man. 576 likes. Let's try for 750. We had almost 1,500 plus in the chat tonight for AEW Dynamite. There should be near 1,000 likes. So if you guys have not hit that thumbs up, please make sure you guys do that for me as well. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. And if you guys want to go out and support my sponsor for today's show, man, we are newly sponsored by Advanced GG. St. Patrick's Day sale, 48 hours, man. If you guys want the best in gaming, for those long Warzone sessions, those long Destiny sessions, if you're a streamer on Twitch and you need that little pick up and go to stream all those hours, man, Advanced GG is the perfect partner for your stream. That is Advanced GG. You guys are going to go to their website, link down below in the description. You're going to use code SCRIPT at checkout for 20% off. So thank you guys for everything. Let's get into these super chats, man. We got a lot of them.
Before we do, did anybody notice our commentary started? They went from saying how this was the first lights out match on Dynamite, and they ended up saying that this was the first lights out match in AEW.
Now it was the first. I believe they said it was the first lights out match on Dynamite.
Yep, I caught Jim Ross saying it was the first lights out match on AEW. In AEW.
Well, he must have made a mental error.
And I'm sitting there like, wait, did they just throw out? I mean, I guess if it never really happened, I guess so. I mean, but how you just gonna throw out Kenny and Moxley, man?
I know, it was a mental error by JR, but we all love him anyway.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter. Let's get at the top of these super chats, man. We got Clorox Bleach with a $4.99. It's everybody's favorite beverage of choice on Monday night during Raw. How good would a Darby Allin vs. Rey Fenix match be? Plus, I think the only tag team AEW is missing is the Usos. Usos are WWE lifers, bro. And yes, Darby Allin vs. Rey Fenix would be fantastic. Raging Girl Gamer with a $50 super chat. Thank you, Rage. The queen of OTS is here with a 50 bomb. Woohoo! Thank you, Rage. Munchie Time with a $20 super chat. Both of these women beat the hell out of each other tonight. Can't wait to see where the Pinnacle goes from here as well. I'll tune into the review in the morning since I work early. Cheers, JD and Jesse. Hashtag Edgar Gang. Oh, man.
Well, you give this guy a job, does he show up to work? No.
Well.
No. See?
Who knows where he is, man? I'll hit him up.
Yeah, okay. It's not dependable, man. Just fucking get rid of him.
All right. You want the bouncer position in the venue is what you're telling me?
Yeah, man. There's too many. It's too many. I'm sitting there looking for a mod a few minutes ago. Couldn't find one.
There's Hooligram is here. What are you talking about? Hooligram and Rage are here.
Oh, yeah. Now you didn't see me looking for one earlier when I had to ban some asshole?
All right. They got it.
Yeah, okay, man.
Jacob.
What the fuck is Hoop Media? How about that?
Hoop Media's got work in the morning, bro. Leave Hoop Media alone, okay?
Hoop Media. Hoop is overrated, dude. I'm telling you.
Hoop Media has a birthday coming up this weekend.
No way.
They're getting ready for the birthday celebration, yes.
All right, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, they're taking the weekend off.
Unbelievable.
Jacob Donnelly, $10 super chat. This felt like AEW finally turning the page on the women's division. Britt and Rosa are absolute stars, and I hope the women's title goes to either one of them ASAP. Jacob, I think we are all in agreement with you, my friend. Thank you for the $10 super chat. NC07 with a super chat, $1.99. Who's better, Metallica or Panera? I'm gonna assume you listen. I'm gonna take Panera's broccoli and cheddar soup with a half loaf of bread over Metallica, bro. If that's what you mean, but I think you mean Pantera. And if that's the case, I'm going with Metallica, album 1 through album 5. After album 5, Metallica can fuck off. Joshua Snyder, by the way, if you guys want music, Miles Kennedy, Ides of March. Go and listen. Save yourself about 8 minutes and go and listen. Trust me. Joshua Snyder with a $5 super chat. Jesse and Edgar one-on-one. Take my money.
Unbelievable, man. What the
Stone Cold BMF with a fucking $100 bomb, man. Holy shit. What is going on, guys?
Wow.
We will get to you, man. Holy shit. Raging Girl Gamer with a $100 super chat. What's up, JD and Jesse? Also, the best community on YouTube, OTS family. Wanted to let you know you're an inspiration and motivation to me to do a lot of things in my life. I appreciate you and the OTS fam. Love y'all. Rage, why don't you go tell that to a couple of other notable podcasters in the community who think I'm an asshole?
No, don't get into it.
I know. I'm just saying.
You are the asshole.
I'm just saying. I may be an asshole, but I'm damn good at what I do.
I told you about that guy years ago. I told you he doesn't like being made to look wrong on social media.
I know, man. Whatever. We squashed whatever it was. He thinks I'm an asshole still, regardless. Who gives a shit? Rage, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I will. I'll hit you up after the show. Rick Coella or Colella with a Australian $10. Sorry if this gives you nightmares for a month, but can you imagine if MJF went to WWE instead of AEW? Miz 2.0 at best, 24/7 title chaser at worst. That place kills talent. Thank God for AEW. Well, listen, MJF ain't going to WWE anytime soon because his entire character would be compromised.
No.
He's AEW for life, man.
No.
Toxic Banana 99 with a $1.99 super chat. There's a video of MJF trying out for Tough Enough in 2015. Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be?
Oh, yeah.
Robert Hall, 85, with a $5 super chat. I think Rosa and Britt took all the aggression for Jesse out on each other. They killed it. Maybe Jesse is now finally safe from Thunder Rosa.
Hey, I have a scheduled meeting with Miss Thunder Rosa. I have tickets to that indie show.
All right. So bring your OTS signs, wear your OTS shirt.
So we'll see.
Get a video for the show.
We'll see what Thunder Rosa has to say when we're face to face.
All right. We'll see. Chris Morabito with a $10 super chat. Hey, JD, love the show. We'll always support. No, you've probably already given your thoughts on the main event. Was just wondering your thoughts on Penta. Him and Rey deserved wins. Appreciate you. Yeah, bro, we talked about all that in the beginning of the show in depth about Cody and Penta and Rey Fenix. Rey Fenix and Pac, you know, they seem to be doing well for themselves, but they got that tag team title match in which I don't think they will win. But stranger things have happened, bro. Thank you for the $10. Stu Sexton with a $50 super chat. Thank you, brother. Showing support for the best in the IWC. Thank you for all you do. Glad to be part of the OTS fam. Keep up the great work, JD and Jesse. Thank you, Stu. Team Forward with a $3 super chat. Britt Baker deserves to be a future champion. I agree.
I could agree with that. Definitely.
Shane Ramlal with a $1.99 super chat. Britt Baker is greater than Jesse at this point. LOL.
Yeah, sure. She can definitely wrestle better than I can. Sure.
You know who else is greater than Jesse? Edgar Estrada.
Oh, here we go. Your new boy toy. Hey, let's see, Edgar. What do you think about that? Hey, I see why. I know why he had to become a mod, because I know what Edgar's favorite movie was. 300.
You're an asshole.
300.
Paul Wu with a $3 super chat. Hey, JD, I'm enjoying the CNC, bro. Call me a goon. Edgar, not Edgar. Now you got me fucking thinking Edgar and 300, man. Jesus Christ. Paul Wu, you fucking goon, man. Raging Girl Gamer with another $20 super chat. I love Monday Night Raw. It's the best part of my Monday. Jeez, I'm going to give you fucking $20 back after that one. Jesus Christ. You said that with a straight face? Hoppo Jr. with a 100 bomb. This is for being real and honest. Every single show I watched ever since 2019. Jesse, you're part of this too, man. Never sugarcoat anything. And the OTS family are awesome. Main event was amazing. Britt Baker will be champion by the end of 2021. Hashtag new women's champion.
I can see it.
Papo Jr., thank you, brother. Hope you are well, my friend. Marty Bison with a 100 bomb. Wanted to give a big donut out to the guys that helped me through some dark times with lots of laughs. Love you too in keeping this partnership going, fellas. Thank you, Mr. Marty Bison. I hope you are doing well, my friend. Better times are ahead. Weather nice. The nicer weather's on the way. Everything should be good, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. And then he does another $1.99 super chat. I mean, shout out. Oh, I thought you meant donut. I don't know. I could go for a donut right now. I need a snack. Thank you, Marty. Tribal Chief with a $2 Canadian. Does MJF's new faction remind you of the Sinister Six? I don't remember. I don't know what the Sinister Six was, bro.
Me either.
I don't know. Is that Impact? If so, I don't care.
And that's why, yeah.
Cool Jags with a $2.99 super chat. Cody using the Triple H Golden Shovel, I see. I don't know if it's that bad, but
sure. I mean, look, he hasn't gotten that bad. I won't go that far yet, but he's trending in that direction, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Side note, you know how we make fun of WWE of chopping people's names? Remember Terra Ryzing?
Yeah.
And I told you how they were spoofing his name and kind of using it against Triple H.
Yeah.
They chopped his name. His name is now just Ryzen. They low key cut his name. Nobody else really is reported that or picked up on that, but they cut his name from Terra Ryzen, and they used to rib Triple H with that name.
Wow, look at that.
Yep.
By the way, we got breaking news in the chat. Stone Cold BMF, who just donated $100 5 minutes ago. It is revealed that Stone Cold BMF is actually Edgar Estrada in the chat.
No, it's not.
What do you mean, no, it's not?
Why would he be in the chat under somebody else?
Because
Not
apparently you
being a
fucked up
fucking
his
mod.
name. You messed up his name, bro.
Here, let's see. Much better.
What did you do?
All right, here we go. Moving on. Lovely. Favorite movie?
What are you doing, bro?
What the fuck? Another one?
Yo!
Jesus.
Bucket hot otaku!
You have been stimulated from this fucking super chat tonight alone.
Alex, first of all, Bucket with a $100 super chat. We'll get to you, bro. Thank you, brother. Alex 808 with a 100 bomb. I hope all is well with you guys. Keep up the great work because this is the best duo in the IWC. Guys, I may be planning. I gotta correlate with Jesse because I'd love to have him there. Obviously, I may be going to Double or Nothing for Jacksonville. We may be doing a big meet and greet in Jacksonville. I'm not sure yet.
We'll see.
We'll see. Alex, thank you so much, brother. Raging Girl Gamer with another $10 super chat. WWE needs to have a show every day of the week so I can be more entertained and have this excitement in my life. Listen, I gotta refund you $30 now. Please. I don't think we need any more WWE shows.
No. Less is better in that case.
Joseph Coleman with a $5 super chat. Listen, Impact, I likes you and I want you. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Fuck Impact. I don't care. Give Omega the title, move on. Thank you for the $5, Joseph. World of Wrestling, $5 super chat. Do you and Jesse think AEW should have Double or Nothing take place at Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium? No. Out of Jacksonville is preferably the way I'd like, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Chemo, the therapist, with a $5 super chat. On BTE, Matt Hardy pinned or banned leg slapping while laughing. Matt Hardy's character is Vince McMahon.
Basically, I mean, in this instance, yeah, but I don't think that's the full-time story behind this gimmick on BTE, no.
Dr. Glorious Records with a Canadian $5. I read the rumor mill that Jesse's favorite wrestler is Abaddon. The creator of that rumor was Edgar. Hashtag Jesse is scared of Abaddon.
I am.
Is this
I
true?
I don't want to see her anywhere near my TV or the women's title.
Vandelli, listen, come get your man over here, bro.
Fucking terrified. I watched her thinking, okay, well, she got in better shape. Maybe she's better. She's not better. She has gotten in a little bit better shape, yes, but she is not any better than what we last saw her in the ring.
I gotta look at that. When was the last time she wrestled on Elevation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is nothing more than AEW Dark at 2 hours on Monday.
Yeah.
How did the Big Show, in your opinion, do? Oh, Big Show. No more BS for Paul White. How did Paul White do as a commentator?
Paul White did. He actually did pretty good. I'm not gonna say he was just okay. He was a little bit above okay. He knew all his spots. He knew when to cut in. He gave pretty good details on move and he explained moves very, very well. He explained moves to people like, why would you do that? How does that hurt you? His ring experience, he can easily, boom, this move does this. This is how you cut circulation of this. This is how you cut this. He was very, very good. He was very colorful in his color commentary. I'll give him that. He was pretty good.
There you go. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. AEW showed us the division has moved on from Sheeta. Indeed. It's about time they get their title off of her, no question.
Still say it. She never should have won it. Nyla Rose should have been this champion the entire fucking time. The entire time Nyla Rose could have been champion and somebody could have come in and Thunder Rosa could have came and beat her for that title and look what it would mean at this point.
P-Mac with a $10 super chat. What's up, JD? I told you how my son loves your big dummy Strowman impressions. You had me dying laughing on Monday. Oh, and Jesse, my wife Shannon told me to tell you you pissed her off last week.
I did.
What did Jesse do to piss off your wife, P-Mac? I'd love to personally know.
I didn't do it. I'm sorry. What'd I do?
Stupid is as stupid does. Raw showing. Thank you, P-Mac, for the $10, man. Francis Loop with a $5 super chat. Britt Baker, by the way, I think they just axed the Strowman and Shane McMahon match from Fastlane, which only means it's happening at WrestleMania, which makes it even worse.
For sure.
Francis Loop with a $5 super chat. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa just solidified the AEW Women's Division as #1 in the U.S. False, Francis. Will WWE Women go to the bloody levels in the PG era? NXT still owns the best women's division in the United States, bro.
And this is what I mean by that match and being the best. This was a great match, an entertaining match, but it's not something that you can go out and do every week.
No.
So what are you gonna do next week? You know, I mean, I'm saying it was not the best wrestling match. It was a far more entertaining match, you know, than before. But the last match, that's what you have to do week in and week out.
Yeah. Mr. Cake with a $10 super chat. I love MJF and I think he's going to kill it, but I have my reservations about it. He's 24. He's leading a stable. It feels too soon. Randy Orton was 24 when he joined Evolution. MJF is not Randy Orton.
Yeah, times change, man. This is a phenomenal spot for MJF.
Think of it this way, Mr. Cake. Look at the trust that Tony Khan has in MJF already at 24.
Yes,
would anybody just let him do what he needs to do as far as promo, say what he wants on a promo, have him lead a fucking faction? Come on.
You know, it's not about what you did at what age. Think about Randy Orton when he joined Evolution. Was he in a spot to lead a faction with the microphone?
No,
not at all.
There you go.
He wasn't even very good in the mic. He was still learning.
We got Lindy Sauce with a $4.99 super chat. Hey, JD, I loved your stream yesterday with Batman. I hope you do a stream with Batman again. Batman was great, bro.
You and Batman shit. Where the fuck was Robin?
I was Robin.
I was Alfred.
I was Robin, bro. I played with Batman. I was Robin, man. Me and Batman lost maybe one game, man. We won about fucking 14 games in a row.
Who was under the suit? Was it fucking was it Christian Bale?
I'm the Batman.
Who the fucking hell this fucking guy? Did you get Michael Keaton? He was the better Batman.
These guys don't stand a chance. It's great, man. It's awesome. Lindy Sauce, thank you to $4.99, bro. PMAC, $5 super chat. Hey, JD, if you're ever in New Orleans, I will do a crawfish boiled Guinness. Beers on me. Shannon says, leave that chump Jesse. He's not invited.
What did I do?
PMAC, I gotta be honest with you, man. Hold the crawfish and just give me the Guinness. I don't need seafood, bro.
Yeah, I don't need seafood either, man.
Mr. Cake with a $5 super chat. You think we get the Pinnacle versus the Elite after the Young Bucks get their shit together? Possibly. I'm not thinking about that right now. Let's take care of the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
He also says Kingston made an NWO reference when Moxley did the Too Sweet.
I didn't hear that.
Me neither. I must have missed that.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Alfonso with a $5 super chat. They said Butcher and Blade are mercenaries and only cared about money. That's how they ended up with Matt after Eddie became soft. There you go, Jesse.
Two things with that. One, why is it I have to be told that from someone in a super chat because it wasn't told to me on TV? Two, that sounds stupid, but whatever.
Why do the Butcher and Blade gotta be mercenaries for anybody, man? They're good enough to be on their own with the money.
They can be by themselves, man. If you want to separate them from Kingston, fine, do a break. Especially if Kingston is turning babyface, then the fucking Butcher and Blade should have killed him, and Moxley should have saved him to repay him from saving him in the ring. Anybody think about that shit?
I don't know, man. Not really on my radar of things to care about at the moment.
Continuity, man. It's always on my radar.
Mr. Cake, I'm happy for Christian. He didn't pull a Jomo. And he says, you think Darby versus Dark Order leads to Hangman with the TNT title? Jesse hates Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Lee Johnson, and now Sting. Edgar better teach him a lesson. I'm happy for Christian too. I'm happy for Christian too, bro. I'm gonna give it a chance. Hopefully they do it right. Darby versus Dark Order leads to Hangman. I don't think so. I think we get Lance Archer with the TNT title and then Hangman taking it off Archer. I think that's the right way to go about it. Jesse hates Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, Sting, and he said some terrible things about Lee Johnson that I can't repeat on it.
Lee Johnson, if you're listening, that's not true. They are full of shit. I'm gonna get banned by this guy. Let's see if I get banned.
No, you're not, bro. Gerald Cormier, bro, don't be shy, man. $5 super chat with no fucking message. What's wrong with you?
Whew, still good, not banned yet.
Mr. Cake, $2 super chat. Jim Cornette is Jim Cornette. It's that simple. Women, Jesus Christ, where the fuck is Mr. Cake now? Women with color is awesome. This match was great and felt more like a death match than Moxley Omega. It reminded me of Archer and Moxley's match. Commentary sounded like friggin' idiots when Britt brought out the thumbtack bag. I mean, what else is going to be in the fucking bag? What's going to be in the bag? A puzzle? We got Stone Cold BMF with a $100 super chat. Yo, JD, Edgar here, always ready to support, bro. Fun AEW show tonight. Main event was booked well. I'm still laughing at angry Kenny screaming at the Bucks and how he's gotten Matt's face. Kenny was hilarious. Shout outs to Desan and JW Universe. OTS fam. Hashtag Jesse fuck off goon.
About right.
Who? What?
What?
Edgar's back, bro. He's under a new alias.
Not doing his job.
Don't worry. I don't know what happened to Edgar's actual fucking name on here, man.
Can depend on that guy, man.
Mr. Cake with another $5 super chat. JR did a weird call near the end of the match. Both ladies are damaged goods. It felt like a weird thing to say. Well,
yeah, I heard it. I heard that.
JR says weird things, bro. I mean, I don't know.
I was wondering if somebody was gonna start shit on that one, but I heard that.
Come on, don't take it too seriously, people. Red Raven Rucker with a $4.99 super chat. Thunder Rosa is the best. I agree, and Jesse does not. He does. I'm just kidding. Aracia, thank you for the $5 super chat. Canadian, do you guys think hype for a CM Punk return is dead? Personally, I think he's been out too long now for it to be great. Great stream, fellas. Punk does not need a fucking overhyped bullshit introduction by Tony Khan. That man is going to debut, and you're going to leave it as a debut on the show.
Yeah.
Michael Mirza with a $10 super chat. Much love for what you guys do. Keep it up. If you guys could trade tag teams from AEW to NXT, WWE, for some of the women over there to balance both divisions a bit, who would you trade? What tag teams, bro?
He's saying there's an abundance of tag teams in AEW and an abundance of women in NXT. So if we could trade tag teams for some of the women, who would be traded?
Okay. I could see Bear Country in NXT. To be honest with you.
Yeah, but Bear Country has no value to trade.
Yeah. We're trading legit teams. I would say, man, I don't know. I mean, if you're NXT, I would look at Imperium and I would look at the grizzled young veterans. I'm not trading them. I'm not trading those guys.
No. I think what he meant was, like, so say I wanted to trade Private Party for Taya Valkyrie. Oh. So if we can trade, because since AEW has so many tag teams and NXT has so many women, if we can trade to make both brands better, who would we trade?
Oh, all right.
It's actually a really good scenario.
Yeah. Shit, that's a tough question.
At this point, I would trade Private Party to NXT.
Trade Private Party to NXT. Maybe send. Shit, who the fuck would you even get rid of?
I like Dakota Kai.
I was thinking Dakota Kai.
Yeah. Or Taya Valkyrie.
You could do that too.
Yeah.
Maybe you trade Santana and Ortiz over to NXT. Maybe you get Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon in return.
Dude, fuck no. If I'm trading Santana and Ortiz, I'm getting fucking EO.
You could do that.
Fuck that. I'm getting EO. If I lose Santana and Ortiz, I'm getting, and I'll do Santana and Ortiz and Private Party for EO.
Trade Bear Country for Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter.
They have no value. Casey and Carter, they have no value in AEW.
Yeah.
None.
That's a good question, man. And we could be here all night talking about fucking potential trades,
Yeah.
man. Michael, thank you for the $10, brother.
That's an awesome scenario.
Inverted. What's up, brother? $20 super chat. He says, cheers, geeks. Thanks, man. $2 super chat. Mr. Cake, just so we're clear, Jesse's banned from the club.
You banned from clubs now?
No, you're not banned. He's not banned from the venue, bro. Come on.
Come on, look.
Titus would be very unhappy, man. Jesse orders frequently off the menu.
Exactly.
Justin Striplin, $4.99. Britt Baker vs. Thunder Rosa was awesome. Both women went out of their way. I love the physicality, brutality, and bloodiness that both women put on. Absolutely, Justin. A piece of bacon with a $5 super chat. Great episode of Dynamite, and that awesome women's match should be the start to a better division. We can only hope so, Mr. Bacon. Thank you, brother. The Woofness Way, $10 super chat. Awesome breakdown as always, guys. Been a fan for years now. Love the realness you both bring to the IWC. Keep it rocking. Thank you, Mr. Way. Bucket Hat Otaku, $100 super chat. The war between JD and Joshi Wrestling, mixed with Edgar versus Jesse, will go down as the most legendary fuse in OTS history. But in all seriousness, you guys killed it tonight as usual. P.S. I just wanted to be a heavyweight like our boy, our daily MVP, Edgar Estrada. Hashtag Edgar Gang. Oh, man.
Hey, sympathy for Edgar. Fucking pussy, dude.
Mr. Bucket Hat Otaku, man. Thank you, brother. Miguel Nunez with a $5 super chat. JD, a year ago today, you opened my eyes to the truth of pro wrestling. Big thanks, brother. P.S. CNC is awesome, bro. And hashtag Team Jesse. Oh. Miguel.
See? Smart one.
There you go, man.
Look at that.
Chris with a $4.99 super chat. What's up, JD, Jesse, and OTS fam? AEW was a great show tonight. NXT was also a great show. Lots of moving parts for TakeOver. Stand and deliver. Did Cross and Balor win the tag team titles? Is what I want to know.
I don't know. I saw Cross was trending, so maybe. I don't know.
What else? That's a Monday Night Raw booking decision if I ever seen one, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Chris, thank you for the $5 super chat. Michael Reed with a $50 super chat. JD and Jesse, appreciate what you do. Love the OTS family. When Omega wins the Impact title, Moose should win the title back from him, or he should be champ in Impact. If Death Triangle is not winning the titles, who should? Couple factions now in AEW.
I think Death Triangle will be the inaugural trios champions.
Yeah. Cross and Balor did not win the titles. Thank fucking Christ.
Okay.
Don't even know why they were fucking teaming together, man. Karrion Kross and Balor do not make a tag team. Number one, they're opponents for the World Heavyweight title in NXT. And it's completely against Kross's gimmick to team with anybody, man. Shouldn't this guy want to fucking spill the blood of everybody on that roster? What the fuck is he doing teaming with somebody?
Yeah, no.
Who's booking this shit?
Somebody said TH2 for Candice LeRae. I don't know. That's probably a lopsided trade.
Wait a minute. Spirit Enigma says Balor was pinned?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Get Road Dogg out of there. Please. Jesus Christ.
Yep. There you go.
And you tell me that there's no fucked up situations happening in NXT, man? When would you ever see an NXT champion pinned on fucking basic television?
I thought you liked champions getting pinned, remember?
No!
No? Now it's changing. Oh, here we go.
Not Balor.
Oh, God.
Walter is back. It looks like Walter versus Ciampa. That's gonna be a fucking great match.
Oh man, how's Ciampa doing? Health-wise, how was he?
Well, he looks to be the best shape of his career. He looks fine, but Ciampa, I mean, I guess I don't know how they made sense of that one.
He's good. He's good to go. He can go a good 30 minutes with Walter right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You know who I think should be, or what a match that NXT should look at: Walter versus Cross when the time is right. That could be a guy, Jesse. You remember when I talked about on the podcast? If Cross gets called up, who he should lose to? If he wins the title and then gets called up, who he should drop the title to? Walter.
Yeah, but Walter doesn't want to work here.
Well, he's here now.
He's gonna stay long enough to be champion?
Well, Imperium's here.
Hey, if Walter's gonna work over here, Walter could definitely be the guy to beat him.
We'll see what happens there. That's very interesting. I usually watch NXT on Thursday night, so I'll catch up tomorrow when it's on the WWE Network. So I need to watch so I could talk about it on Saturdays off the script. But Michael Reed, thank you for the $50 super chat. DeVar Davis with a $5 super chat. Someday this is going to be mine, and I'll be the biggest heel in the OTS family, but that's someday. You keep your title for now. Do a Vince impression. Do a Vince impression?
He said biggest heel. I'm the fucking biggest heel around. Who he's talking to?
I don't know who he's talking to.
Okay.
Do a Vince impression? I need Charlotte Flair to go over Asuka at WrestleMania. I need more blondes on my roster.
That theory I text you about Charlotte, man, I'm starting to think that might be more and more true.
Yeah, I know. Stone Cold BMF with another 100 bomb. Edgar with another 100 bomb.
I was gonna be fucking broke trying to be cool. Go ahead, let's see what he has to say now.
Before I read this, Issa's in the chat. What's up to Issa, NYC Demon Diva? She says, Cross tried to kill him, then rolled him in the ring to get pinned. Oh, okay. All right. But still, I mean, the champion was, why at that point, I'm going to ask, why are you teaming them together? Why would Balor trust this guy? Really?
Issa, did it play off well on TV? Did it make sense when it aired? Because it doesn't sound like it makes any sense.
My answer is no. Probably not. Edgar says, Jesse, you want to run your mouth, so let's speak truth. Jesse hides in his little office watching Brokeback Mountain while popping some Blue Chew. This guy is a wannabe JD. Stop the tough guy routine. It's laughable. JD, you're on fire. Cheers. I'm off AM work. Edgar with the 100 bomb, bro.
I love how you try to bury someone else while putting someone else's dick in your mouth. That's just so tough.
This is never gonna end.
Not even yourself. It's not like, oh, you suck because I'm better. No, it's you suck because JD is so great. You fucking.
Listen, folks, it's WrestleMania season, man.
This fucking guy, dude.
Issa says it was all Scarlett's plan.
Scarlett has a plan now? She's running the show?
I guess so.
All right.
Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Edgar is under a new gimmick. Look out, Jesse.
Edgar is a gimmick.
Chris with a $4.99 super chat. Give me Walter versus Cross title for title main event. Walter holds both NXT and NXT UK titles. Cross gets called down to the main roster. I could see it. Scooter the use. Yeah, Jesse.
You keep this bullshit up of building up Walter, and he will be on the main roster.
Bro, listen. Yeah, whatever you're doing with Edgar, man. I'm telling you, man. Keep it up, bro.
Chasing our truth.
Scooter the U Smith, JD and Jesse, I'm at a point where I'm tired of having any BS job causing my life to be BS and making me miserable and want to be my own boss like you guys. I haven't decided what to choose to do, but how, but my question is, ... Scooter, I'm sorry that your BS job is causing you to be miserable, bro. I've been there. That's why I'm here. Mr. Cake with a $2 super chat. Thatcher probably brought Walter to NXT. Probably. I don't know why. I gotta watch, man. I thought they were a solid tag team. Didn't make sense why Ciampa was teaming with anybody, but I gotta figure that one out. Scooter the U Smith continues with a $5 super chat. Question is, what motivated, inspired you guys to do whatever it took to start and succeed on your own?
I'm a failure. He's a success.
Jesse's not a failure. He's a failure with Edgar, but he's not a failure.
God.
Scooter, what motivated me? actually getting fired from my watch dealing job in not Times Square, in Midtown. I hated it, man. Working retail, I hated it. Jewelry, I hated it. I said, you know what? I'm good at this wrestling thing. I love pro wrestling. Somebody's going to listen to me fucking rant and bitch and complain about wrestling, and I'm going to be not a shock jock, but just an entertaining guy, man, because I got it in me. Plus all the years of being in and around bullshit personally, it all made me stronger, man. It made me drive even harder to do this YouTube thing. So I appreciate that, man. Scooter, don't worry, bro. We all eventually find our way in life.
Indeed.
Bucket with another $100 super chat. Holy shit, man. Jesse really cementing his heel run by taking the iconic name away from his biggest nightmare. I don't know, man.
Who is that? Who's my biggest nightmare?
Edgar Estrada.
Oh, shit. No. Who's that guy again?
Listen, man, I got to figure out what this is the biggest storyline in the fucking podcast, man. What happened to Edgar's name?
Don't ask me, brother. How should I know? I love Edgar.
Oh, yeah?
Me and Edgar are like fucking this, bro.
You know?
Let me tell you something. You know when you go do laundry and you put your fucking wet clothes in the dryer and you use the fabric softener so they come out smelling fucking fresh?
You know what I use, bro? Never mind the fabric softener, bro. I use those little beads, the downy beads you throw on the water. I love those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you get done with that load, so you gotta pull out the lint filter and you get that perfect roll of lint off the lint filter.
Yep.
That lint off the lint filter is more important to me than Edgar is.
And I'm gonna reveal something to you. A fun fact about me: when that lint filter is full, man, it brings me great joy just to rip all that shit off in one swipe. It's nice, man.
Yeah, kind of like when you get a new phone and you gotta pull off that fucking plastic on the screen.
Yep.
Oh man,
love it.
Me and my wife will fight over shit like that. We get something new in the house and I find out she peeled the plastic off before me. It is hell in this house, man. You fucking crazy?
Listen, Scooter. Another thing about this, man, I love when people ask me this question because I always love telling my side of the story. Listen, bro, you know, what also drives me is the fucking hate that I get in the community for whatever reason. People acting like they know me, you know, in real life. They hear online chatter, they do all this other shit online. They hear something from somebody, they hear something from somebody else, and automatically I'm an asshole. I take that and I fucking use it because if they were so good, then they'd be doing this thing right here with me on YouTube, but they can't. They can't do that. I love the hate, man. The hate sometimes gets to you. I block it out. Sometimes it bothers me. Sometimes it doesn't, but we're all human. But all the hate, all the hate, this is why I'm constantly building the show, man. I'm telling you, all that hate has driven me to a point where it pushed me to the brink this year. And legitimately, nobody is going to be able to do what I do on here. Artwork-wise, visually, delivery-wise, the entire show is going to be the fucking biggest form of entertainment in the entire IWC, man. Watch. I'm telling you, man, when I said Dr. Disrespect level, I'm fucking not joking around, bro. I'm not joking around. They're all jealous. Every fucking one of them is jealous, bro, but they won't admit it. I'm a threat to everybody. They won't admit it. They won't bring me on their shows because I'd fucking outdo them on their own show. They won't admit it. Come on. Use that to fucking fuel you, Scooter. Seriously.
I'll say this much because I spend a lot of time just checking out. I don't listen to all of them because it's impossible, but I'll check out other wrestling podcasts and formats and how they do their post shows and things like that. I won't mention the names here, but I've noticed a couple of the bigger named podcasters kind of copycat our platform here on Wednesday nights.
What do you mean? How?
To their show with the split screen and the special guest or the guest host and things like that. and it's now being done about quite a few, but at least a couple I can think of offhand right now that used to do it by themselves. Now they have a friend of theirs next to them reviewing the show.
Issa says in the chat, I appreciate this, Issa. She says, you're an inspiration to many of us, JD. Keep up the good work. Real talk. Issa, I hear that from you because, you and I have shared drinks and you and I have gone to shows together. So yeah, you're one of the good ones to me. You're always good to me. I'm gonna give that right back to you. But, I'm not gonna hear that from anybody else. I'm not. So it is what it is, man. I take all that stuff and I use it. There's legitimate. I'm telling you, man. After WrestleMania, when all this shit is done, nobody's going to be able to look like we do here. Nobody. The fact that Jesse's here, I enjoy Jesse being here because he gives me a little break from what I usually do, my usual stick from off the script, and on Monday doing it solo. It's tough doing it solo. It's not easy doing it solo. Jesse gives me, a little break because he carries some of the workload for me. We think similarly, and I value his opinion. So, if you guys had a problem with him in the early stages, I guarantee you none of you have a problem with him now. Why? Because trust the process. Why would I ever take you on a road that I know you're not going to like?
This piece of shit Edgar doesn't like me.
Jesus,
whatever.
Christ. Jesus Christ, with you, this Edgar shit, man.
Fucking Edgar, man.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Listen, it is what it is. I got into a little back and forth with somebody else online this past week. It is what it is, man. Everybody's looking to fucking rain on my parade. I know why. Everybody's jealous, man. Everybody's jealous. I took something that a lot of people wish they could do and they can, and I made it into my own business. How many people many people can be successful doing that, man? It's tough.
Awesome. Thank you, Issa. I've already reached out to you personally and said what I had to say to you. So once again, thank you very much.
Issa's doing her own thing too, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta get back on another show with Drew with her, man.
Great to see. Nate with a $4.99 super chat. JD and Jesse are the best. Thank you, Nate. Jericho, 8131, $5 super chat. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Junior's Bakery in Brooklyn? Bro, I have not been to the bakery in Brooklyn. I've had stuff from Junior's before in small quantities, but I have to go at some point. KD Limitless, $2 super chat. Are you and Jesse going to do a review on Rebellion? No. We don't watch Impact. And Cowboys Nation 1990, $2 super chat. JD, new viewer here. Love the honesty. Best for business. Thank you, Cowboys Nation. We appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Jesse, any parting words before we get the hell out of here, man?
Yeah, somebody said I should do more WWE reviews. Jacob, I thought that you guys liked me. Why would you want me to review that bullshit? What the fuck, man?
Maybe being that TakeOver Stand and Deliver is happening on USA Network, I'm going to have to do that over Dynamite that night. I'm going to have to. It's going to be a big night. So maybe Jesse wants to do that one with me. We'll figure it out. That'll be a WWE show. So it's going to be a busy week that week. I don't even want to get ahead of myself yet. Nate,
why do we got to do that one?
Because it's Balor vs. Cross, bro. They're putting that on USA Network.
Oh, put it on. Do it Thursday. Oh, man.
Nate with a $4.99 super chat. Jesse should have been the special ref tonight. Oh, yeah. Maybe he would have been bloody, too, with Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa.
Be putting on gloves and everything. I love how Britt Baker went out there and got bloodied as shit. Mess all over the place. But then when it was time for the lockjaw, she had to put on the glove because she wanted to be sanitary.
Yeah. Scooter with a $5 super chat. I feel exactly the same as you guys, especially about haters and wanting to prove people wrong. I do podcasts and YouTube content on another channel, but also, you better hurry up, brother. So the fucking solo's coming up. Save your super chat for the next live stream, bro. I appreciate it, man. Just take my I guess advice, and here's another $10 super chat. I do music, mainly rap, though. I know you are not into that genre, but because I am different and don't conform to the BS, all the rap, it's hate. But I know I'm better than a lot of those rappers, and they know it. Listen, bro, same thing that I said before applies, man. Don't let anybody get you down. Just use it and fucking let that fuel you. Cowboys Nation, $19.92 super chat. Jesse, don't worry. I love your content with JD.
Thank you. Hey, if you're talking about current hip-hop, yes, 1,000% agree. Current modern hip-hop is fucking trash.
Yeah.
Fucking trash, dude. Please, it is so bad.
All right, guys, you know what time it is, man. That guitar solo's coming up. Follow us on social media. At JDfromNY206, you see Jesse's Twitter handle right there underneath his screen. Go follow him as well on Twitter. We are jumping in the Mustang. It was a nice 50 degrees in Queens today, man. Windows are down. We got our cold beverages. We're about to hit the highway. I will see you back here on Friday night. Jesse and I will see you back here on Wednesday for a live episode of Dynamite, guys. Until then, take care, and I'll see you on Friday night for SmackDown.